goods, open up the Indian markets for more US imports and others. So coming up, viewers, Air India lands the soup again after Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Now BJP leader J.V. Shergill flags discrepancies in the services of airlines. Stay tuned.
I'm delighted that the Republic Plenary Summit is being held on March 6th. I've been a participant in the summit in earlier years. It's a remarkable event. I wish it all the best and all success.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass-comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
The Supreme Court issued a notice in a special leave petition filed by Indian badminton player Lakshya Sen, challenging the Karnataka High Court's order which rejected his plea to quash an investigation into the allegation of fabricating birth certificates to take part in underage badminton tournaments. This means that any investigation against him has been stayed by the Supreme Court for now. Earlier, the petition filed by him relating to an age fraud case had been dismissed by the Karnataka High Court. The case against which Sen had filed a petition dates back to 2022 and accuses the player, his family, and his coach Vimal Kumar of allegedly tampering with birth certificates to gain an unfair advantage in junior badminton competitions. The Karnataka High Court had examined the petition filed by Sen and his family and determined that the preliminary evidence was sufficient to justify a further investigation. When prima facie materials are placed on record which constitute the offences, I do not find any reason either to stall the investigation or to quash the initiation of criminal proceedings, said Justice M.G. Uma. The judge further added that sufficient materials exist to ensure that the case against Sen and his family and coach goes ahead. There are sufficient materials that are placed before the court by the complainant, which are the documents that are obtained under the Right to Information Act from the appropriate authority. Under such circumstances, I do not find any reason to entertain the petition, said Justice M.G. Uma. The investigation against Sen was launched following a complaint by Nagaraja M.G., who operates a badminton academy in the city of Bengaluru. According to the complaint, Lakshya Sen was born in the year 1998 but falsely claimed 2001 as his birth year. The complainant further alleged that the birth certificates were forged to obtain government benefits after participating in tournaments. In 2022, the police registered a case under sections 420 for cheating, 468 for forgery of the purpose of cheating, and 471 for using a forged record as genuine of the Indian Penal Code. However, the investigation was originally halted after the Karnataka High Court granted an interim stay. Lakshya Sen's side in their petition said that the case was built on personal grievances rather than factual evidence. Sen is a former junior world #1 and has won medals at several international events, including the World Championships and the Commonwealth Games. He is also a recipient of the prestigious Arjuna Award, with his father D.K. Sen being a badminton coach. Yet should he somehow be proven guilty, it will once again bring to the forefront the issue of cheating and cast doubts over the veracity of his achievements.
It looks like we're getting very close. The deal's being worked on, and we're, I think, getting very close to getting an agreement where we get our money back over a period of time. It looks like we're getting very close. The deal's being worked on, and we're, I think, getting very close to getting an agreement where we get our money back over a period of time. But it also gives us something where I think it's very beneficial to their economy, to them as a country. But, you know, we're in for $350 billion. How we got there, I don't know, but that's a lot of money, a lot of money invested, and we had nothing to show for it. And it was the Biden administration's fault.
Ми отримали першу угоду, в якій не було гарантій безпеки, і тут немає ніякого скандалу, просто вона не відповідає запиту. Тобто питання про те, що давайте 50 на 50 все ділити. Приблизно так перша угода виглядала. Я сказав, що я не піду на це і не дам міністрам підписати це. І я не збираюсь визнавати 500. Хто б що не говорив, як би ми не спілкувалися. При всій повазі. Ще раз, при всій повазі до партнерів, але я стійко стою, тому що це правдива ситуація. Абсолютно ми праві. І друга ситуація, якщо чесно, навіть 100 мільярдів я не готовий фіксувати. Поясню чому. Поясню чому. Тому що ми не маємо визнавати гранти як борги. Подобається це чи не подобається. І ми без цього не можемо. Напевно, ми на це повинні йти. Але у мене питання, скажіть логічне, і мені на нього ніхто не може відповісти. Коли Сполучені Штати Америки продають зброю Ізраїлю, Катару, Саудівській Аравії, Об'єднаним Арабським Еміратам, чи вони заробляють 100%?
The Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries. Category 2. Reclaiming history, culture and tradition.
India stands at the cusp of a new era. I'm thrilled that Republic Media Network bringing together the brightest young minds together in Republic Plenary Summit. I'm particularly interested towards reclaiming history, culture, tradition of India in that particular segment. I'm really hopeful that the young mind could bring a new ideas of India's history, culture and tradition.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Very good morning, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking with me, Dr. Misha. Let's get started with all the top stories of the day that we're tracking for you. Air India lands in soup again after Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. It's now BJP leader Jaiveer Shergill who flags a bad experience on Air India. CBSE to hold board examinations twice a year for now 10th and 12th class students. Mahakumbh's final Amrit Snan today. Crores expected to take the holy dip on Mahashivratri. Police on high alert. And Karnataka legislators to get recliner seats from this session onwards for post-lunch nap, says Karnataka Assembly Speaker. Bangladesh Army Chief issues stern warning, makes it clear, says that enough is enough, hold elections in December. To start with breaking news coming in right now, remember it was on Sunday we saw Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan complaining about a very bad experience on a flight of Air India. It's now BJP leader Jaiveer Shergill who has flagged more complaints on in the service of Air India. He posted on social media platform X. He took a dig at Air India saying, if there was, and I quote him here, if there was an Oscar equivalent for worst airlines, Air India would win hands down in every category, from broken seats to worst staff and pathetic on-ground support staff. The BJP, unquote, the BJP leader further added that flying Air India is not a pleasant experience, but today it broke all records. Now, in response, Air India, as per the norm we have seen, issued an apology on that post, saying that we apologize for the inconvenience and please DM us, just like they told the Union Minister to do so. Air India assure that to get in touch with him over the issue. We have aviation expert Subhash Goel joining us on the broadcast. Good morning, Mr. Goel. Well, once again, we spoke earlier when Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan had complained about the experience, and in fact there is action being taken. At least what we know is that DGC has called a meeting with Air India also next week. But just before that, we see now another leader, another BJP leader questioning the service of Air India. Why is it happening?
Well, it's very, very unfortunate that incident after incident should take place. But Mr. Shergill, Air India has apologized. And you see, Air India, when Tatas took over, was in a very bad state of affairs. And Rome was not built in a day. They are trying their best to improve. And it will take some time. After the Shivraj Patil incident, I talked to some senior people in Air India. They said, we are changing the fleet. We are doing all best possible. And you see, they are waiting for new aircraft to come in. They have placed orders for, more than 500 aircraft, about 500 aircraft. So as the new aircraft will come in, they will be replaced. So they have inherited, the fleet. And yes, there are bound to be complaints. But the problem is that if they ignore the complaints, that is wrong. So as I mentioned earlier also, like they do a safety audit, they should do an audit of the interiors of the plane, and that needs to be urgently taken place, whether all the seats have a pushback, none of the seats are broken, the air ducts are working, the entertainment system is working. Now, all these things need to be flagged, and the seats which are, they can't change the planes overnight, but the seats which are not functional, they should put some ribbon on it, and they should put a sticker that not in use or something like that. And they should ensure that whether it's a political leader or a business leader or an ordinary citizen, they should get the money's worth. And not only with Air India, but we have experienced this with other airlines also. But Air India has to replace their, old aging fleet as soon as possible. And the staff needs to be more responsive and more proactive in order to ensure that there is customer satisfaction. Now, I'm also a little disturbed that why this is happening again and again. But this is something which will take time. But
no, but sir, it's been, I think, more than 2 years, around 2 to 3 years, if I'm not wrong, as far as the takeover is concerned.
At least 2 years more.
You said that
it will take time, but it's only getting worse. It's not improved. There's no improvement.
Before it was nationalized.
There's no improvement, sir. It's only getting worse. That's the biggest issue.
Yes, I agree with you that there are a lot of challenges, and as long as the challenges are trying to be met, And as long as the management of Air India is not, shirking away the responsibility, they are taking the responsibility and they have apologized. So I think, and I think the passengers should be compensated, their fare should be returned, and, maybe they be given a better experience on a better airline.
Right, sir. But we've seen, many a times, even if you go online, there have been multiple complaints, not just by, people from the country, but also international travelers. I've seen, people making even vlogs, how it had been the worst experience on, Air India. And it is, of course, having a reputation for decades, which is only declining and declining. It is also about the hard-earned money of people, of the citizens of the country, and also who fly in and fly out of the country. There is something called a consumer satisfaction and justice to the customers as well. And if there is no redressal system, if the attitude also is being questioned, forget the entire system. If it's not in place, if they're not able to get their act together, there can be different procedures for that. But if the approach is questionable, then it's really a worrisome problem then.
No, I don't think that Air India is ignoring all these. Air India is fully aware, and no airline wants their reputation to go down. And these are incidents that are taking place because of the old fleet. And as I mentioned earlier, there are issues, there are problems, there are challenges. And the merger of Vistara, we wanted Air India to upgrade itself to the Vistara quality, which has not happened as yet. And I'm quite hopeful that in spite of these challenges, the reputation of the Tata Group, whether it is the Taj Hotel or it is any other product of Tata's, they will overcome these challenges. And they should, it is always the darkest before dawn. And I think these are challenges, a dark period for Air India. But they will come out of these challenges as soon as they are able to get their new fleet.
Sir, we talk about, you talk about the reputation of the Tatas, but that Midas touch is not clearly working with Air India. And perhaps earlier, they were not directly involved in, the entire running of the airlines in and out. But here, they have to handle, all the aspects as far as the flight experience is concerned, the aircraft system, the entire system is concerned. The apologies and the way they write apologies that, you can DM us so that we can get in touch with you, be it a union minister, BJP leader, or anyone for that matter. This is a very, an approach which is...
No, there I agree with you. They need to be more, PR conscious, and their PR needs to improve. And they should, rather than receiving, they should call these are prominent people. Air India should call them up. Someone from Air India Senior should visit them and tender the apology. Because this happens in the aviation and tourism industry, this happens. If something like this, because we are also representing about 13 international airlines and 8 cruise companies and Stick Travels. If something like this happens to any of our customers, I as chairman also ensure that I also personally apologize to the person and rectify the situation. So these things are bound to happen in the service industry somewhere down the line because there is human error is bound to take place. And to error is human, but the response has to be better, and the PR needs to improve. I agree with you.
Right. Ratan Tata had also, there's of course a dream that was, he had this dream also that, he will complete the job that was left as far as Air India is concerned. He's no more there, but, from JRD Tata to Ratan Tata, and there are a lot of expectations when you attach that name with an airlines. But you feel that with that kind of reputation, there has to be a better system for redressal. There has to be a better system for checks and balances also internally study in an in aviation, if you could understand, help our viewers understand that, how difficult, or are there any challenges you are aware of that an airline could be, facing someone like some.
You see, there are a lot of challenges. The first challenge is you cannot get rid of all the staff immediately. There is a phasing out method. One of the conditions of the merger was that, the staff, as far as possible, with training and all, the same staff is there, which was there earlier. So you cannot overnight, train up thousands and thousands of people. So the staff challenge and the training of the staff is one big issue, which is an ongoing process. It is work in progress. And secondly, the fleet. You see, immediately Air India has placed one of the largest orders in the world. But the manufacturing companies, whether it is Boeing or Airbus, they're taking time to deliver the aircraft. Now, till such time the aircrafts are not delivered, they cannot suspend the flights. They have to, keep transporting people from one point to another. It is not just, business. It is also a social and a moral responsibility of every airline, not just Air India. And I have had, I don't want to name the airlines, but I have had, I keep traveling at least once or twice a month. It's an occupational hazard. So I have faced bad seats in many other airlines and some of the world's best airlines. But what I feel is that we need to, I have a lot of confidence in the future of Air India, and I have full faith in the management skills and the professionalism of the Tata Group. And the industry is very happy with compared to the previous Air India. The industry is very happy. The response to the travel agents, to the tour operators is very proactive. And there is a lot of changes that have taken place in the top management. But it will take time. As you rightly mentioned, at least another 2 years are needed for Air India to come to its past glory.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Subhash Goel, for joining us with your thoughts and your insights onto the story, viewers. So we continue to track and get more and more, reaction, viewers, on this, because it's a story that, connects everybody, right from those, right from people in power, right to the common man, to anybody who is traveling via flights for work, for personal work, anything for that matter. Of course, it takes a lot of money, and Air India is a it's a household name. It has been there for decades, and it has had its highs and lows. And now we have, after Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the union minister, who's also former chief minister, we have now Jaiveer Shergill, who's a BJP leader, calling it, they're saying that it has set new records and bad service. If there was any parallel or equivalent to an Oscar for bad aviation, then it would be given to Air India. It would win hands down. Oscar equivalent for worst airline, says Jaiveer Shergill. In every category, from broken seats to worst staff, pathetic on-ground support staff as well. Further says that flying Air India is not a pleasant experience, but today broke all records. Means he has not had many good experiences, but this time it was the worst one. We'll continue to track more updates on that, viewers, while we now shift our focus to the other stories we are tracking. Now, the CAG reports put the Aam Aadmi Party and particularly Arvind Kejriwal on back foot on issues of liquor gate scam and splurging on his palace, the bungalow. Here's a detailed report.
षड्यंत्र रच के सबसे पहला काम इन्होंने किया, मनीष सिसोदिया के ऊपर एक झूठा आरोप लगाया। बोला मनीष सिसोदिया शराब में पैसे खा गया। और घोटाला क्या है सीबीआई की एफआईआर में? उसमें लिखा है कि एक शराब के वाले ने दूसरे शराब वाले के बैंक अकाउंट में 1 करोड़ रुपए जमा कराए। उसमें मनीष का क्या लेना देना यार? एक शराब वाले ने दूसरे को 1 करोड़ रुपए जमा कराए बैंक अकाउंट में, कि क्या घोटाला है? घोटाला क्या है ये समझ ही नहीं रहा अभी तक।
The Aam Aadmi Party has for long maintained the non-existence of the excise policy scam. But a CAG report tabled in the Delhi Assembly today has blown the lid off of a scam worth crores of rupees. The report highlights financial mismanagement, unlawful market practices, and a manipulation in tender, among many irregularities. Data suggests that the Excise Department incurred a loss of over 890 crores. The then AAP-led Delhi government reportedly experienced total losses exceeding 2,000 crores due to the excise policy. The report also exposes a nexus wherein liquor license was given to select entities without diligence. What is being termed as the Palace of Dreams, the CAG report also shows how the AAP spent 342% more than the estimated cost on Kejriwal's residence, and how taxpayer money was being used to build a luxurious space worth over 30 crores. The AAP stands cornered by its political opponents.
अरविंद केजरीवाल जी कहते थे ये तो फालतू कागज है, इसको तो कोर्ट जाती फाड़ कर फेंक देगी। अब समझ में आया, आज कैग रिपोर्ट में आप पढ़ेंगे, उसमें बताया गया कि किस तरह से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के मंत्रियों ने इस पॉलिसी को, जो कंप्लेंट आई थी उसको दरकिनार करते हुए इस पॉलिसी को बनाने का काम किया।
यू पीपल शुड गो बैक इन द हिस्ट्री कि ये पार्टी बनी क्यों थी, अन्ना हजारे आंदोलन में क्यों बैठे थे, सीएजी की रिपोर्ट पे बैठे थे, भ्रष्टाचार को ही इन्होंने इश्यू बनाया था, जन लोकपाल बिल की बात की थी। कितना दुर्भाग्य है कि जिस पार्टी की एग्जिस्टेंस सीएजी रिपोर्ट की वजह से हुई हो, जो जन लोकपाल बनाने के लिए बनी हो, वो अपने कार्यकाल में 10 साल में एक मर्तबा भी सीएजी की रिपोर्ट नहीं रखी उन्होंने टेबल की।
Siphoned funds and illegal quid pro quo arrangements.
The Aam Aadmi Party has a lot to answer for.
And it's the final day of the Holy Mahakumbh. It concludes today on the occasion of Mahashivratri. Millions of people have gathered for a holy dip at the Triveni Sangam in Prayagraj. Security has been beefed up. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has been monitoring all the arrangements personally.
And today's Amrit Snan holds special significance as the Mahakumbh is concluding on the occasion of Mahashivratri. There you have visuals of Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath monitoring the security arrangements there. And of course, there are drones have been deployed. There's use of AI also. My colleague Raghavendra is in fact reporting live from the Mahakumbh in Prayagraj.
Raghavendra, किस तरह का माहौल है आज? अमृत स्नान है और कंक्लूड होने वाला है, महाकुंभ का समापन होने वाला है, महाशिवरात्रि भी है, तो हर हर महादेव की गूंज भी सुनाई पड़ रही होगी। किस तरह का वातावरण है और किस तरह के बंदोबस्त हैं? Raghavendra, आप सुन पा रहे हैं? अच्छा, अभी seem to have lost that connection. We'll try and get you
more updates from the Mahakumbh as it's a huge crowd out there, and the network often, of course, gets erratic in Prayagraj, viewers. But it's the final day and Mahakumbh concludes today. It has been a record-breaking Kumbh, and we'll get you more updates from Ground Zero. Meanwhile, we take a look at some other stories from across the country. Maharashtra Cyber Cell summoned internet personality Apurva Makhija amid outrage over the YouTube show India's Got Latent. Makhija recorded her statement at the cell. So far, 6 people, including YouTubers Ranveer Alabadia and Ashish Chandalani, have recorded their statements. As the Grand Mahakumbh concludes, the Amrit Snan on Mahashivratri began today in the early hours as devotees continue to flock to Prayagraj to immerse themselves in the Triveni Sangam. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath was seen monitoring the arrangements.
So nobody wants to miss out on this opportunity. Traditionally, the people of the city of Prayagraj, they are also visiting this Snan in huge numbers. And that is why since midnight we are seeing a huge inflow of pilgrims. But because of our schemes, there is a very convenient outflow also, and everyone is feeling glad to be part of this occasion of Mahashivratri. They are also visiting the Shiv Mandirs in the Mahakumbh area in large numbers, which we are facilitating very well.
Just as Mahakumbh comes to an end, preparations for the Ardhakumbh Mela set to take place in 2027 have already begun. A meeting of government officials took place to discuss the preparations.
27 में जो कुंभ मेले का जो आयोजन जो होगा यहाँ पे, उसकी तैयारी अभी से ही शुरू कर दिया है और सारे आज विभागों का आज एक प्रेजेंटेशन था जिसमें कि गृह विभाग का भी प्रेजेंटेशन था। इसमें भी प्रेजेंटेशन में ये कहा गया कि किस तरह से आगामी जो 27 में जो कुंभ जो होगा उसका क्या ट्रैफिक प्लान क्या होगा, किस तरीके से पार्किंग व्यवस्था होगी, किस तरह से क्राउड मैनेजमेंट का यहाँ पर डाइवर्जन करेंगे, क्या उनकी स्कीम्स होगी। तो इन्हीं सब बिंदुओं पे यहाँ पे प्रथम रूप में इसको कमिश्नर साहब की अध्यक्षता में इसका ब्रीफ लिया गया और इसमें आगे जैसे समन्वय से सारे डिपार्टमेंट काम करें तो इसकी फर्दर एक रूपरेखा इसमें तैयार की गई है।
Jammu and Kashmir High Court ordered the NHAI to charge only 20% of toll fee till the completion of Lakhanpur to Udhampur National Highway. Further directives ordered that another toll cannot be established within 60 kilometers of National Highway 60. Meerut police locked heads with criminals as a cross-firing between the two erupted. In a bid to secure the personnel, one criminal was shot in the leg amid heavy firing. Two accused were detained and the police recovered illegal pistols, cartridges, vehicles from the duo. Members of the Arambai Tengol group met with Manipur governor to discuss the security concerns in the area. The governor, Ajay Kumar Bhalla, urged the members of the Arambai Tengol group met with the Manipur governor to discuss the security concerns in the area. The governor, Ajay Kumar Bhalla, urged the Meitei outfit to surrender arms, whereas Arambai Tengol has put forth conditions they demand the government to fulfill before asking for disarmament.
We have discussed many positive discussion on this tonight, and that very soon there will be a normalcy in the state. So he requests us to give up the arms, whatever we have during this conflict between Meitei and Kukis. So we have some terms and conditions inside. So if the terms and conditions are fulfilled, then we will give up the arms. If not, let us see what the condition brings out.
Following a terrifying crime that led to the death of a bank data manager in an encounter, the police have detained the accused. This is a story coming in from Noida. Police stumbled upon an anxious accused during routine checking. The accused, identified as Bunty, opened fire upon the police when he saw them approaching. Quick retaliation led to the arrest. Police also seized illegal weapons, Aadhaar, driving license and cash from the accused. Further probe is underway.
जब थाना इकोटेक 3 पुलिस द्वारा 130 मीटर रोड के पास चेकिंग की जा रही थी, उन्हें सूचना मिली कि 21 फरवरी को हुए मंजीत मिश्रा हत्याकांड के एक आरोपी सुरपुरा कट के पास खड़ा हुआ है। जब पुलिस ने उसके पास गई और उसका पीछा किया तो उस व्यक्ति ने पुलिस की तरफ जान से मारने के लिए फायर किया। पुलिस वाले बाल बचे। जब पुलिस ने आत्मरक्षा में जवाबी फायर किया तो उस व्यक्ति के पैर में गोली लगी तो तुरंत ही उसको पास वाले अस्पताल में उपचार के लिए भेजा गया। जब आगे तफ्तीश की गई तो मालूम चला इस व्यक्ति का नाम बंटी है और ये मूल रूप से बागपत का निवासी है और इसने ही हत्याकांड में गोली चलाई थी और इसके ऊपर एक पहले का बागपत का मुकदमा भी मिला है।
The Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries. Category 1. Science Technology.
I'm excited to hear about the proposals that have been submitted at the Youth Hackathon at the Republic Plenary, and I can't wait to see them and discuss them and look forward to transforming India with these limitless possibilities.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
It looks like we're getting very close. The deal's being worked on. We're, I think, getting very close to getting an agreement where we get our money back over a period of time. It looks like we're getting very close. The deal's being worked on. We're, I think, getting very close to getting an agreement where we get our money back over a period of time. But it also gives us something where I think it's very beneficial to their economy, to them as a country. But you know, we're in for $350 billion. How we got there, I don't know, but that's a lot of money, a lot of money invested, and we had nothing to show for it. And it was the Biden administration's fault.
Отримали першу угоду, в якій не було гарантій безпеки, і тут немає ніякого скандалу, просто вона не відповідає запиту. Тобто питання про те, що давайте 50 на 50 все ділити. Приблизно так перша угода виглядала. Я сказав, що я не піду на це і не дам міністрам підписати це. І я не збираюсь визнавати 500. Хто б що не говорив, як би ми не спілкувалися. При всій повазі. Ще раз, при всій повазі до партнерів, але я стійко стою, тому що це правдива ситуація. Абсолютно ми праві. І друга ситуація, якщо чесно, навіть 100 мільярдів я не готовий фіксувати. Поясню чому. Поясню чому. Тому що ми не маємо визнавати гранти як борги. Подобається це чи не подобається. І ми без цього.
Air India lands in soup again after Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. It's now BJP leader Aviation who flags poor services of the airline, calls it the worst experience. Central Board of Secondary Education, that is the CBSE, to hold board examinations now twice a year for 10th and 12th class students. Mahakumbh's last Amrit Snan today. Crores expected to take the holy dip on Mahashivratri. Police on high alert. Karnataka legislators to get recliner seats from this session onwards for post-lunch naps, says Karnataka Assembly Speaker. Bangladesh Army Chief issues a stern warning, makes it clear, says enough is enough, holds elections in December. All right, we have breaking news, viewers. The big story that we are tracking. We got you the latest story on the big story on Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. How he talked about a bad experience, a very, very pathetic, service at Air India. It's now BJP leader Shergill who has now flagged the poor services of Air India. In a social media post, he said, in fact, he took a dig at Air India, and I quote him, if there was an Oscar equivalent for worst airlines, Air India would win hands down in every category, from broken seats to worst staff and pathetic on-ground support staff, unquote. And of course, he said that they broke all records today in terms of the bad experiences. We have aviation expert Sanjay Bahadur joining us on the broadcast for more. Mr. Bahadur, well, thank you so much for joining us. Very good morning to you. Not a very good morning, it seems, for Jaiveer Shergill, as we saw what happened with Shivraj Singh Chauhan. And, there are discussions happening with the DGCA. They have summoned Air India next week as well. But now this is happening repeatedly. It happens with the VIPs, it's happening with political leaders, it happens with the common man. And there is no end to it, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. You see, the issue about area has been in the news quite some time now, and I've been reading your reports about the experience which not only celebrities but the common man have been having on board in terms of service standards and in terms of other issues, delays, and things like that. So I feel Air India in their takeover, subsequent to the takeover of Air from the government, they are still going to put their act together, which they have not been able to do successfully, I presume. And you see, I'm not sure because I don't know internally how the management is structured, but it's not very easy for a non-aviation management person to be running a show. If that is the case there in India, but if that's the case, then possibly that will be the answer to our problems and questions that are taking the entirety of the people who use the area services to travel. So I think they need to put that together pretty fast and come up with a determined and a firm plan in terms of how they want to address these issues. If you just let it slide, it's going to get worse. That is my thought on the issue.
Absolutely, because there is a trust that comes with the Tatas when you rope them in, and after the takeover, we do not see any improvement. In fact, it's only going worse. Do you feel that privatization is not necessarily the remedy here? It is clearly not really working with the airlines.
I need to take a slightly different view on this. My thought on this is, while the privatization per se is a good step forward, because it brings in a lot of benefit in terms of costing, in terms of manpower role, in terms of things like that, aviation scenario. However, the people concerned, the people behind the machine needs to have enough experience in the area that they are dealing with. And here we are talking about in-flight services, in terms of commercials, in terms of ground operations, in terms of maintenance. So I fail to understand with the infrastructure that India has. I think it's one of the largest the country and be one of the larger ones in the world, with all kind of infrastructure and power and the experience behind them. I fail to understand what could be the logical reason for shabby treatment of passengers.
Right. Mr. Bahadur, even if you see customers flying to America, to Europe also, they have time and again flagged issues, there have been time even the AC has not been working. There have been a time when in-flight entertainment system is not working. Broken seats is very common. Frequent delays also has been flagged time and again by domestic and international flyers. And, these are planes that are very, very old as well. There are old aircraft and even lack of engineering capacity that has been found out. But why is it so? Why is this transformation taking so much of time?
It's difficult to answer the question, to be honest, because I do not know entirely how they are structuring the management team. But if they're bringing in people who have been with the Tata Group to handle the airline because they are a part of the team that are trusted and have been with the organization for a longer period of time, rather than bring in people who have experience with them. That might be the only logical reason for this scenario. It's unheard of. Tatas have a fantastic reputation, and I've worked with Mr. Ratan Tata, and I was the chief operating officer for Tata. So within the Tata, I understand how much importance they give to and how much detailed processes they have placed for doing issues like that. Something like this happened in the Tata Group completely. I am not able to understand how this could possibly happening and why it is happening. Are they Are they really not bothered about it? Are they taking casually? Are they not addressing core issues? They do not have competent people within the team. So they could go a lot of things. But in spite of all the issues that have been in such a short period of time, and the numbers multiply, if nobody is putting their heads together to fix the issue, that's really shameful.
Right, sir. In fact, the way Air India just issues an apology online and says that please DM us so that we can get in touch with you. Of course, it's something really raises a lot of concerns. And, you know, right from the attitude to the approach to the way of working, everything is being questioned right now. But thank you so much, Mr. Sanjay Bahadur, for joining us this morning with your thoughts on that story. Viewers, we shift our focus to the other stories that we're tracking. Rescuers are battling to pull out the 8 workers who are still stuck inside the Telangana tunnel for over 72 hours. It's been more than 72 hours, day 5 of the rescue operations after a portion of the tunnel collapsed on the 22nd of February in the southern states and Nagar Kurnool district. Now, we get you this report to know what's the latest.
It's been over 4 days now and the 8 workers still remain trapped inside the SLBC tunnel.
Well, it's day 4 and the rescue operations still continue. Well, unfortunately, the rescue teams are still not able to have any sort of communication with the 8 trapped workers. Well, we are right now at the Sri Sailam Left Bank Canal Tunnel, where you see that the rescue operations are going on for the 4th day consecutively, and also at the same time, as you can see, the authorities have been working round the clock. There are various teams which have been brought in.
The rescue operations are underway in full swing.
We also have been seeing that how Indian Army has been present in operation, NDRF teams, SDRF teams, and this is also one of the camps which have been set up here by the Indian Army. As you can see, there is generator and also water pumping out machine and other required equipments here. As you can see, all the material which is needed for the relief and rescue measures inside the tunnel. As you can see, there is rope, jackets and a lot of machinery which has been brought in by the Indian Army.
As part of the ongoing rescue efforts, endoscopic and robotic cameras were brought to the SLBC tunnel site additionally. The NDRF dog squad has been deployed to aid the operation.
The state government, under the guidance of our Chief Minister, we are putting our best foot forward, best efforts. I've been myself stationed here from yesterday. We have taken the support of NDRF, taken the support of Indian Army experts. We have also requested for some naval commandos to be sent. And we are working round the clock to try and save the lives of 8 people trapped inside.
The situation right now, have you been able to have the teams being able to have any sort of communication with these people, and until where the teams are being able to reach?
We have not had contact so far.
Accusing the Congress government of negligence, Telangana's main opposition, BRS, demanded a judicial inquiry into the Sri Salem Left Bank Canal tunnel accident.
The Sri Salem Left Bank tunnel, which unfortunately collapsed, and about 8 people are still trapped for the last 72 hours. We demand that the government come forward, immediately constitute a judicial commission headed by a sitting judge of the High Court, and make sure that every single fact comes out, because there are stories and rumors and information being received by media and opposition parties as well, that the government did not take any kind of scientific measures before they restarted the work after 4 years.
With 8 days passing by and new hurdles coming to fore, there still seems to be light at the end of the tunnel.
The this is the conveyor belt which usually passes the material from inside, and also now what we are being told is that the rescue teams who are still not able to have any communication with these 8 workers, they are also facing a lot of difficulty to reach till that very point where the incident has taken place. At this conveyor belt has been damaged when there was a heavy gush of water and silt mud which fell on the machine and on this conveyor belt. So this conveyor belt has also been broken down, and also at the same time what we are now being told is that this is said to be one of the difficult operations which is going on, and rescue continues for day 4 as well.
Viewers, we have breaking news coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. Anti-terror operations underway at close to half a dozen locations in Doda and Kishtwar. 4 Pakistani terrorists linked to Jaish-e-Mohammed are on radar of security forces in Doda. That's the breaking news we have right now. Gursimran Singh joins us for more on this. Gursimran, tell us more details, please.
See, what we are picking up from the officials on ground that close to half a dozen locations are presently being searched by the joint forces. The operations have been launched by the Jammu and Kashmir Police along with the CRPF and the Indian Army, and the operations are underway in the Chhatargala area of the Bhadrava, in the Gando, and in the area of Keshwan Forest, which is close to the Kuntwada, where in the month of November 2 VDG members were killed by the Pakistani terrorists, and in next day, that is on the 9th of November, Indian Army personnel was also killed in action while fighting with these Pakistani terrorists. Now, as we speak, the operations are underway as 2 to 3 groups of the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists, out of which 4 terrorists have been identified based on the photographs that have been accessed by the Jammu and Kashmir Police. These terrorists, they are operating in the upper reaches of the Doda and the Kishtwar. They are on the radar of the security forces. And as we speak, the IG Jammu Zone, Bhimsen Tuti, is presently stationed in the Kishtwar, wherein he is reviewing the security scenario and also monitoring the ongoing anti-terror operations that are underway in the region. Reason being that the security forces are well aware that since it's the onset of the summers have begun in the Jammu region, today being the Shivratri, and in the next days, what the terrorists actually do, that they try to come out from the upper cliffs. When they come downwards, they always try to carry out back-to-back terror attacks. This has been the past history for last couple of years. This has been a trend that these terrorists follow. So the security forces are trying to ensure that these terrorists that are operating in the upper reaches during the winters, they are neutralized at an earliest so that they can be thwarted from carrying out any other terror attack. And that's why we are visiting that the senior officials of the Jammu and Kashmir Police as well as the Indian Army and the CRPF have also come up with an integrated counter-terror plan that they are working upon in the Chenab Valley.
Right, Gursimran. In fact, stay on with us. We have some more breaking developments coming in. A border breach attempt by Pakistani infiltrators has been now traced. And what we know is that BSF has foiled this infiltration attempt in Pathankot. And BSF has neutralized a Pakistani national attempting to infiltration into the Indian territory. Gursimran, the Pak national, we understand, attempted border breach this morning in Pathankot, and BSF troops challenged the movement, and he was then shot dead.
Yes, a Pakistani intruder has been shot dead by the alert troop of the BSF that have been deployed in the Tashpatan area of the Pathankot. This area comes under the Jammu frontier of the Border Security Force that mans the Jammu-Kathua-Samba international border along the Pakistan. Today morning at 6:45 is the time that what we are being told when a Pakistani intruder attempted to sneak in into the Indian territory. It seems to be that it was done after a due recce because it was the changeover time of the security forces when this border breach was attempted by the Pakistani intruder, but it was foiled due to the alertness of the troops on ground. It's important to mention that this has been a traditional terror infiltration route because this Pahadipur area is the general area where the 3 terrorists of the Jaish-e-Mohammed infiltrated during the 2015 Dinanagar police station attack, in which 4 policemen and 3 civilians were killed by these terrorists before they were neutralized by the security forces. So keeping that in view, the security forces are maintaining a highest of alertness on the borders of the country because the situation that we have seen on the line of control before the flag meeting that has taken place between India and Pakistan, the Pakistan is trying to scale up the things along the borders, and that is what is concerning for the border security force, and now they have neutralized a Pakistani intruder. We'll be continuing with this rolling coverage as forces continue their crackdown on terror in Jammu and Kashmir.
The Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries Category 3, Deep Tech and Semiconductors.
Deep tech, which could be either quantum computing, futuristic materials, genomics, biotech engineering, is what is going to drive India's innovation and change for the next decade. So I'm very excited that Republic Media Network is organizing a hackathon called the Limitless Hackathon for Youth. And this is an opportunity for anyone under 30 to be able to come out there with your ideas on deep tech. So if you have that idea, if you strongly believe in it, please do send in your pictures.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid. We paid 60% of the total effort, and it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money, to be clear. We have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan, because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day and Russia will have paid for that.
The idea to send European troops in Ukraine to back the ceasefire?
European troops may go into Ukraine as peacemakers. So when the agreement is done, they can watch that everything's followed properly. I don't think that's going to be a problem. And a lot of the European countries, I think, I don't want to speak for France, but I know that the president's talked about doing that also. I think that'll be a very good day when we can go in as peacekeepers as opposed to what's going on right now with everybody being killed.
Will France support the U.S. being compensated?
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated, because they are the one to have lose a lot of their fellow citizens and being destroyed by these attacks. Second, all of those who paid for could be compensated, but not by Ukraine, by
Maharashtra Cyber Cell summoned internet personality Apurva Makhija amid outrage over the YouTube show India's Got Latent. Makhija recorded her statement at the cell. So far, 6 people, including YouTubers Ranveer Alabadi and Ashish Chanchlani, have recorded their statements. As the Grand Mahakumbh concludes today, the Amrit Snan, the final Amrit Snan, began in the early hours of 26th of February, that is today. Devotees continue to flock to Prayagraj to immerse themselves in the Triveni Sangam. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath was seen monitoring the arrangements at the final Mahakumbh Snan from the control room. Just as Mahakumbh comes to an end, preparations for the Ardh-Kumbh Mela, that is so set to take place in Haridwar of Uttarakhand, is set to play in 2027, have already begun. Meeting of government officials took place to discuss the preparations. Jammu and Kashmir High Court ordered NHAI to charge only 20% of toll fee till the completion of the Lakhanpur to Udhampur National Highway. Further directives ordered that another toll can't be established within 60 kilometers of National Highway. Meerut police locked heads with criminals as a cross-firing between the two erupted. In a bid to secure the personnel, one criminal was shot in the leg amid heavy firing. 2 accused were detained, and the police recovered illegal pistols, cartridges and vehicles from the duo, members of the Arambaite. Members of the Arambai Tengol group met with Amanipur governor to discuss the security concerns in the area. The governor Ajay Kumar Bhalla urged the Meitei outfit to surrender arms, whereas Arambhai Tengol has put forth conditions they demand the government to fulfill before asking for disarmament. Following a terrifying crime that led to the death of a bank data manager in an encounter, police have detained the accused in the matter. The police stumbled upon an anxious accused during routine checking. The accused, identified as Bunty, opened fire upon the police when he saw them approaching. Quick retaliation led to the arrest. The police also seized illegal weapons, Aadhaar, driving license and cash from the accused. The probe is underway. Time for a short break, viewers, but we get you the latest coming in. There's another complaint, for a second complaint in 5 days after Shivraj Singh Chauhan. It's now BJP leader Javeer Shergill who has reported a bad experience, the worst experience rather, on an Air India flight. We'll get you more on that. Stay tuned.
The Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries. Category 4. Equity and Empowerment.
I'm delighted to hear of this new project which Republic TV is bringing to India. India is full of talent. Indian youth is perhaps the most promising asset of the world, not just of India. They need their moment in the sun. They need to be recognized. They need to be identified. And yes, they need to be praised. And I'm sure that this event organized by Republic will do all three for the younger generation.
Director, the taste of success.
الخيمة أأمن من المكان اللي احنا قاعدين فيه. يعني احنا حاليا قاعدة بغرفة مقصوفة. طبعا لو بده يرجع الحرب أول حاجة حاعملها إن أنا حطلع من الغرفة، لأنه مع أي قصفة قريبة منا أو أي هزة قريبة منا الغرفة حتقع علينا. احنا اليوم فيش عنا حاجة بنقدر نقول إنه هي موجودة مريحانا. فيش إشي متوفر، لا بيت ولا كهرباء ولا مية ولا أكل ولا حاجة ولا حاجة ولا حاجة.
في كل العالم كل بيت متوفر فيه كهرباء ومية وغاز وكل هاي الأشياء، يعني هذه الأشياء ديفولت، يعني أشياء افتراضية. أما إحنا بنصحى بننام وإحنا بندور على هاي الأشياء الأساسية. بتصحى بتدور على المية، بتصحى بتشحن جوالك، بتصحى بتدور على مكان تجيب منه غاز.
Delighted that the Republic TV is doing program which is titled appropriately Limitless India, which includes Inclusive India. India has been limitless in thought because it never circumscribed its thoughts that this is the only way to go. We are limitless in our thought, in our reach, in our inclusiveness. And I am happy that such a great initiative is being undertaken. All my best wishes and blessings to the Republic TV and Arnab.
The ICC Champions Trophy 2025 is being played in the hybrid model, with India scheduled to play all of their matches in Dubai. The first semi-final of the tournament will also be played in Dubai, and the Summit Clash too might be played there if India make it that far. The Board of Control for Cricket in India had been firmly against sending the Indian team to Pakistan for the Champions Trophy. BCCI had cited security issues as the main reason behind not sending the Indian team to Pakistan for the Champions Trophy. This is the first time that two venues have been decided for the final of an ICC event, and the blame for that lies with Pakistan. After all, the Pakistan Cricket Board never had any concrete answers to the security issues that their country has seen over the years. Pakistan did try their very best to convince the BCCI to send the Indian team to Pakistan, considering the financial gains that the men in blue bring in, but they never bothered to address the grave issues facing their country. The Indian cricket team, it's worth noting, has been dominant in the Champions Trophy so far. India have won both of their group stage clashes against Asian counterparts Bangladesh and Pakistan, and have thus qualified for the semi-finals of the Champions Trophy. But former England internationals Michael Atherton and Nasser Hussain have blamed the ICC for giving India an undeniable advantage. What about the advantage which India have in playing in Dubai, only in Dubai, which seems to me to be a hard to quantify advantage but an undeniable advantage? They're playing at just one venue. They don't have to travel either, Atherton said on Sky Sports. Nasser Hussain also echoed Michael Atherton's point of view and said that India playing all their Champions Trophy games at one venue gives them an upper hand. It is an advantage.
This is an important time in Indian history. We are at the cusp of when we can become firstly the world's third largest economy, but then over the next quarter of a century becoming a developed, Viksit Bharat. At this summit, I am hoping to see a large number of young thought leaders, thinkers, and to see how they will be giving their efforts, ideas, etc., so that the current generation who is in policy making or running industry, we know what is the amazing pipeline of talent that is heading up towards us, and it is our job in some ways to create the stairways and structures for them to be able to reach Viksit Bharat at the end of the next quarter century. So hope to see you there, and I'm sure you'll find it very interesting to meet these young people.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Viewers, a very good morning. We are live and breaking. I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in. And it is the final snan at the Mahakumbh on Mahashivratri. The final snan is taking place in Prayagraj. We have reporters on the ground getting you all the top developments today. But as usual, the headlines we are tracking. Let's keep a focus on the other stories coming in. Air India lands in soup again after Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Now BJP leader Jaiveer Shergill flags bad services of the airline. Central Board of Secondary Education to hold board examinations twice a year for Class 10 and Class 12 students. Mahakumbh's last Amrit Snan today. Crores expected to take holy day upon Mahashivratri. Police on high alert Karnataka legislators to get recliner seats from this session onwards for post-lunch naps, says Karnataka Assembly Speaker. Bangladesh Army Chief issues stern warning, makes it clear, says enough is enough, hold elections in December now. We go ahead to the Air India mess. What we see right now, back-to-back updates coming in after the Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan had flagged off the bad services on the airlines. More BJP leaders are coming out and raising the issue. In the latest coming in, now BJP leader has flagged bad services of the airline in a post on social media platform X. Jaiveer Shergill takes a dig and says if there was an Oscar equivalent for worst airlines, Air India would win hands down in every category, from broken seats to worst staff and pathetic on-ground support staff. The BJP leader further adds, flying Air India is not a pleasant experience, but today broke all records. In response, Air India issued an apology on X to Jaiveer Shergill for the inconvenience and assured it will get in touch with him over this issue. So I just want to go across to a guest who is joining us live right now. We have with us Bijon Mishra, consumer affairs activist, who is joining us live right now on Republic TV. And this is coming in as, even though the airline, Mr. Mishra, has gone ahead and said there will be a probe into this, we have seen back-to-back complaints coming in, not just from the BJP leaders, from Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, but also online. There has been lots of messages coming in on social media about the services of Air India. How much more the services of Air India are in a place which needs improvement. If you could take our viewers through, what do you think is happening right now? How do you read these developments?
Well, it is an alarm. It is an alarm which should attract the attention of the regulator. DC, Director General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, should be able to take up this issue in a very serious manner to ensure that these are not repeated. So just giving show-cause notices or taking, a kind of a very taken for granted attitude is not the right way. There is a great need to tighten up the service quality of the aviation industry in our country. And the regulator is found always sleeping in these accounts. And we are not able to bring in a fair, good quality competition in our country because the airlines are not scared of the passengers, because they know that the passengers have very limited resources to take it up in the judiciary to claim compensation for all these deficiencies in service or unfair trade practice which is going on in the aviation industry in the country, in India. So I think it is high time, the regulator woke up, the policymakers woke up, the lawmakers woke up to tighten the aviation industry in the country, because we are talking about making every citizen be able to afford, taking flights in the country, to travel by air. But at this rate, I don't think there is a huge amount of unfair trade practice going on. Seats are being overcharged. Quality of service has drastically dropped. Every day, as you can see, as you correctly, you are reporting that passengers are unhappy. They are not able to get the right quality of service as what they deserve or as what is being promised. Last minute cancellations, delays. So in my view, whenever there's a deficiency, full refund should be given to the passenger. The passenger should be made to fly free, and there should not be any arguments on that. The money should be returned. If supposing the flight is delayed by more than 10 minutes or 15 minutes, full refund should be given to the passengers. This is my view, and I feel that only when we tighten up this kind of an action with the airlines, then only the airlines will wake up. Otherwise, they are only interested in profit. They are only interested that they should be able to grow at the expense of the passengers' plight and their pain. Now, I don't want to see any industry in the country to grow at the cost of the consumer who pays for such service out of their hard-earned money. And this is a very serious issue. I hope the Central Consumer Protection Authority, under the Consumer Protection Act 2019, which has been empowered by the Honorable Prime Minister, take up such issues. They wake up. And the Honorable Prime Minister also directs them that they should wake up and take up this cause immediately.
Right, Mr. Mishra, you're talking about how these airlines, to cut costs, they're also cutting down on the convenience of the customers. This is a very, very disturbing part, and this is exactly what we see BJP leader Jaiveer Shergill highlight. We also saw that Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has spoken about these low sunk seats. Do you see a solution here? Of course, DGCA will be looking into this. There will be a probe, but according to you, what solution do you see? How can the consumers take the power back in their hands?
So my contention is, you see, the consumer is supreme. We pay for all the services. The industry runs out of our money. So the consumer, has a choice. If any airline is doing any kind of a mischief in terms of quality or delivery of service, it is not only the political executives should be able to promise that they're looking into it, they should get into action. There should be penalties imposed on the airline. I have seen DGCA imposing penalty on the airlines, but we as passengers, we don't come to know whether that money was recovered, and if that money is recovered, whether it has been put into the consumer welfare fund in the interest of the consumer, whether that money is being used or it is going to the consolidated fund of the government. So we should always make sure, and all the politicians should make sure, the lawmakers, our honorable ministers, they should always make sure that there is some kind of a hefty penalty imposed on these airlines so that they dare not do such, kind of a compromise on quality of service. And they have to be told that the passenger is supreme and the passenger has to be compensated for any kind of a deficiency in service without they getting into a litigation. Because as we know, litigation in our country is again very expensive, long drawn. It doesn't give prompt justice. So we have to ensure that the Consumer Protection Act of 2019, which has this kind of a preamble of prompt justice given to the consumers given compensation for any kind of a deficiency in service or unfair trade practice adopted, that compensation is paid to the consumer right away without any delay. And that is what we want to see. We don't want just assurances. We have had enough assurances from the government for improvement of quality. We have seen that the airlines have been threatened by the political executives, but airlines don't bother. That means there is some, kind of a missing link. Why the airlines are not scared? Why the airlines are taking us for granted? Why the airlines are taking the politicians for granted? Why the airlines are taking the regulator for granted? There has to be a serious. In fact, I have gone before the Honorable High Court of Delhi on the quality of service of airlines. I am waiting for the Honorable Judicial System to give a direction to the government. So we have to take up such cause in a very big, focused manner, in a very kind of a strong manner. And I'm very happy, as usual, Republic taking up such cause.
Right.
Because Republic always fights for the common citizen.
That is right. Oh, thank you for joining us there, Mr. Bijon Mishra, Consumer Affairs expert, for joining us there. Remember, viewers, that you do not forget to tune in at 8 p.m. today on The Debate with the Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami. We'll be discussing this on prime time. Okay, let's move ahead right now, viewers, because we'll pick up focus back on the Mahakumbh. It is the final day of the Snan, the final Snan of the Mahakumbh, that too on the auspicious occasion of Mahashivratri. Many devotees are once again coming up, and they are going ahead to that holy confluence That's a Triveni Sangam in Prayagraj for that dip, and security has been beefed up, and CM Yogi Adityanath has been monitoring all the arrangements. Those pictures coming in right now for you. Today's Amrit Snan holds a special significance as a Mahakumbh is concluding on the eve of Mahashivratri. Let's go straight across to my colleague joining us right now. That is right. Raghavendra is joining us live. Raghavendra, you know, final day of the Mahakumbh, that too on the occasion of Mahashivratri, very, very auspicious day. And we see that many people have turned up once again in Prayagraj for that holy dip, their last chance. Yes, go ahead, Raghavendra.
बिल्कुल, आज महाशिवरात्रि का महादिन है और आज महाकुंभ में इसी स्नान के साथ महाकुंभ आयोजन का समापन भी हो जाएगा। आज के दिन लगभग करोड़ों की संख्या में भक्त आ रहे हैं, श्रद्धालु आ रहे हैं, भारत के अलग अलग राज्यों से आ रहे हैं, अलग अलग हिस्सों से आ रहे हैं त्रिवेणी संगम में स्नान के लिए। बहुत बड़ा यह महा आयोजन का पर्व था जो आज छठवें मुख्य स्नान के साथ पूर्ण हो जाएगा। यहाँ से काफी संख्या में श्रद्धालु वाराणसी के लिए भी निकले हैं और खास बात आज के पर्व में यह रहता है कि श्रद्धालु व्रत रहते हैं, व्रत करके वो स्नान के साथ ही कुछ भी जलपान करते हैं या जो उनको फल फूल लेना हो तब करते हैं। साथ ही देखिए हल्का सा अब जाकर कुछ जो ये श्रद्धालुओं की जो भीड़ है उसमें कमी दिखी है, क्योंकि जैसा कि मैंने कहा सभी श्रद्धालु व्रत रहते हैं। आज व्रत के कारण सभी लोग भोर में सुबह स्नान करना चाहते हैं और स्नान के बाद ही वह कुछ फल फूल आदि को ग्रहण करना चाहते हैं। ऐसे में अब जाकर ये जो काली सड़क है, ये जो मुख्य मार्ग है शहर से जो कुंभ की ओर जाता है, संगम की ओर जो जाता है, उसमें जाकर कुछ राहत मिली है दिख रहे हैं। लेकिन फिर भी ये जो आंकड़ा है लगभग 67 करोड़ लगभग यह क्रॉस कर चुका है। यह आंकड़ा है, एक इतिहास रचा गया है, प्रयागराज की धरती में कीर्तिमान रचा गया है। इतने बड़ा समागम, धार्मिक और सांस्कृतिक समागम कहीं नहीं हुआ है, किसी देश में नहीं हुआ है। खुद मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ पल पल की मॉनिटरिंग कर रहे हैं, सीसीटीवी कैमरे से हर घाट को दिखाया जा रहा है। वरिष्ठ जो पुलिस अधिकारी हैं वो मौके पे तैनात है। 36 पार्किंग है अराउंड संगम, चारों तरफ श्रद्धालुओं के लिए। 8 रेलवे स्टेशन सक्रिय है, एक रेलवे स्टेशन संगम उसे बंद किया गया है पब्लिक भीड़ के कारण। अछैवट बंद है भीड़ के कारण, हनुमान जी का दर्शन बंद है भीड़ के कारण। वहीं पर जो ट्रैफिक डाइवर्जन है, यह बताया गया है कि जो श्रद्धालु जिस दिशा से आए वहीं स्नान करके लौटे, और जितने भी यहाँ पर भगवान भोलेनाथ की जो मंदिर है वो बताया गया है कि आप वहां से भी पूजा करके आप जा सकते हैं। तो ऐसे में कहा जा रहा है कि आज यह लगभग 1.5 महीने का जो ये महा आयोजन था, महाकुंभ था, तीर्थराज प्रयाग की पावन भूमि पर, आज वह समाप्त होने जा रहा है। इसी महाशिवरात्रि के पर्व के साथ महा आयोजन की समाप्ति होने जा रही है और यह एक बहुत बड़ा कीर्तिमान इस धरती से रचा गया है।
Yes, Raghavendra. Also, before I let you go, this is the last day of the Mahakumbh. And you were talking to many people. आप बहुत लोगों से बात भी कर रहे थे. At the same time, CM Yogi has been monitoring the situation from the war room. He has been monitoring the situation for weeks now. If you could take our viewers through the latest coming in terms of security and the arrangements once more.
बिल्कुल, देखिए मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ आज सुबह से ही लगभग 3 बजे रात के बाद वह अपने कक्ष में बैठ गए थे। सीसीटीवी से भक्तों का सैलाब देख रहे कि जिस तरह से अभी कुछ दिन पहले संगम पे जब भगदड़ हुई थी, कहीं वह व्यवस्था तो नहीं हो रही। मुख्यमंत्री खुद निर्देश देते हैं, अगर वो कहीं सीसीटीवी कैमरे में देखते हैं कि इस घाट में ज्यादा भीड़ है तो अधिकारियों को बोलते हैं कि इसकी व्यवस्था देखी जाए। ऐसे में वो पल पल की खबर उनको मिलती थी। सिक्योरिटी की बात करें तो जो 7 प्रमुख मार्ग हैं जो प्रयागराज आते हैं, संगम की ओर आते हैं, वहां पर पुलिस लगी हुई, बैरिकेडिंग लगी हुई है। पीपा के पुल, पांटून पुल जो बनाए गए हैं वहां से भी श्रद्धालुओं का आने जाने की बात है। यहाँ पर स्वास्थ्य की गाड़ियां चल रही हैं, पुलिस प्रशासन की गाड़ियां चल रही हैं, बाकी और गाड़ियों को बंद कर दिया गया है ताकि श्रद्धालुओं को कोई दिक्कत ना हो। वरिष्ठ अधिकारी खुद यहाँ पर पेट्रोलिंग कर रहे हैं। पैदल घुड़सवार घोड़ों के द्वारा पुलिस यहाँ पर मूव कर रही है, पैदल भी पुलिस यहाँ पर मूव कर रही है। तो पूरी तरह से यहाँ अरेंजमेंट है, चूंकि ये बहुत बड़ा मेला है जो आज समाप्त होने के एकदम नजदीक पर है। शाम तक ये महाआयोजन पूरी तरह से समाप्त होगा। हालांकि श्रद्धालुओं का यहाँ पर आना जाना रहेगा। वो चूंकि उनका मानना है कि माँ गंगा यहीं है, माँ यमुना यहीं है, सरस्वती माता यहीं है, हनुमान जी यहीं है, सरस्वती कूप यहीं है, अक्षयवट यहीं है, सब कुछ यहीं पर है, तो वह बाद में भी आ सकते हैं। लेकिन आज जो महाआयोजन की जो अंतिम तिथि थी, अंतिम स्नान महाशिवरात्रि के साथ, वह समाप्त होने जा रहा है।
All right, Raghavendra, thank you for joining us there with all those details from the ground. And viewers, do not forget to miss the debate today at 9 p.m. We'll talk about the Mahakumbh magic with the editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami. And now it's time for all the other stories we are tracking here as we keep getting you back-to-back updates. The Maharashtra Cyber Cell summoned internet personality Apurva Mukhija amid outrage over the YouTube show India's Got Latent. Mukhija recorded a statement at the cell. So far, 6 people, including YouTubers Ranveer Labadi and Ashish Chanchalani, have recorded their statements. As a grand Mahakumbh comes to an end, the concluding Amrit Snan began in the early hours of Feb 26 as devotees continue to flock to Prayagraj to immerse themselves with the Triveni Sangam. And UP CM Yogi Adityanath was also seen monitoring the situation at the last Mahakumbh from the control room.
So nobody wants to miss out on this opportunity. Traditionally, the people of the city of Prayagraj, they are also visiting this Snan in huge numbers. And that is why since midnight we are seeing a huge inflow of pilgrims. But because of our schemes, there is a very convenient outflow also, and everyone is feeling glad to be part of this occasion of Mahashivratri. They are also visiting the Shiv Mandirs in the Mahakumbh area in large numbers, which we are facilitating very well.
And just as the Mahakumbh comes to an end, preparations for the Ardh Kumbh Mela set to take place in 2027 have already begun. A meeting of government officials took place to discuss preparations.
27 में जो कुंभ मेले का जो आयोजन जो होगा यहाँ पे, उसकी तैयारी अभी से ही शुरू कर दिया है। और सारे आज विभागों का आज एक प्रेजेंटेशन था, जिसमें कि गृह विभाग का भी प्रेजेंटेशन था। इसमें भी प्रेजेंटेशन में ये कहा गया कि किस तरह से आगामी जो 27 में जो कुंभ जो होगा, उसका क्या ट्रैफिक प्लान क्या होगा, किस तरीके से पार्किंग व्यवस्था होगी, किस तरह से क्राउड मैनेजमेंट का यहाँ पर डाइवर्जन करेंगे, क्या उनकी स्कीम्स होगी। तो इन्हीं सब बिंदुओं पे यहाँ पे प्रथम रूप में इसको कमिश्नर साहब की अध्यक्षता में इसका ब्रीफ लिया गया। और इसमें आगे जैसे समन्वय से सारे डिपार्टमेंट काम करें, तो इसकी फर्दर एक रूपरेखा इसमें तैयार की गई है।
Jammu Kashmir High Court ordered NHAI to charge only 20% of toll fee till the completion of the Lakhanpur to Udhampur National Highway. Further directives order that another toll cannot be established within 60 kilometers of National Highway 60. Merit police lock heads with criminal as crossfiring between the two erupted in a bid to secure the personnel. One criminal was shot in the leg and heavy firing. 2 accused were detained and the police recovered illegal pistols, cartridges and vehicles from the duo. Members of the Arab by Tengol group met with the Manipur governor to discuss the security concern in the area. The governor has urged the Meitei outfit to surrender arms, whereas Rambai Tengol has put forward conditions they demand the government to fulfill before asking for disarmament.
We have discussed many positive discussion on this tonight, and that very soon there will be a normalcy in the state. So he requests us to give up the arms, whatever we have during this conflict between Meitei and Kukis. So we have some terms and conditions inside. So if the terms and conditions are fulfilled, then we will give up the arms. If not, let us see what the condition brings out.
And following a terrifying crime that led to the death of a bank data manager in an encounter, the police have detained the accused. The police have stumbled upon an anxious accused during routine checking. The accused, identified as Bunty, opened fire upon the police when he saw them approaching. Quick retaliation led to arrest. The police have seized illegal weapons, Aadhaar, driving license and cash from the accused. Further probe is underway.
जब थाना इकोटेक्सी पुलिस द्वारा 130 मीटर रोड के पास चेकिंग की जा रही थी, उन्हें सूचना मिली कि 21 फरवरी को हुए मंजीत मिश्रा हत्याकांड के एक आरोपी सुनपुरा कट के पास खड़ा हुआ है। जब पुलिस ने उसके पास गई और उसका पीछा किया तो उस व्यक्ति ने पुलिस की तरफ जान से मारने की नीयत से फायर किया। पुलिस वाले बाल बाल बचे। जब पुलिस ने आत्मरक्षा में जवाबी फायर किया तो उस व्यक्ति के पैर में गोली लगी, तो तुरंत ही उसको पास वाले अस्पताल में उपचार के लिए भेजा गया। जब आगे तफ्तीश की गई तो मालूम चला इस व्यक्ति का नाम बंटी है और ये मूल रूप से पाकपत का निवासी है और इसने ही हत्याकांड में गोली चलाई थी और इसके ऊपर एक पहले का बागपत का मुकदमा भी मिला है।
Now, coming up, viewers, Central Board of Secondary Education to hold board examinations twice a year for the Class 10 and Class 12 students. Stay tuned as we keep getting you back-to-back updates.
The Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries, Category 6. Digital Economy.
I'm super excited about Republic TV's Republic Plenary Summit, where they're inviting some of the bright young minds of the country to participate in a hackathon. I am going to be part of the digital economy category, the one that excites me the most, because in the next decade, India is going to transition into being a superpower in the digital economy on the back of some amazing homegrown innovations. The best example today is UBI, on which PhonePe has been built. So do come and be a part of this great event, and I'm looking forward to listen to all your pitches.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
The Joint Parliamentary Committee, which is reviewing the One Nation, One Poll bill, held a crucial meeting on Tuesday evening. JPC Chairman PP Chaudhary claims the meeting was productive and he's hopeful that the bill will soon be tabled in the Parliament. Here's a quick report. Take a look.
The One Nation, One Poll bill is under review by a joint parliamentary committee. After fierce showdown in Parliament, the bill was sent to a panel headed by BJP MP PP Chaudhary. A meeting that was held on Tuesday reportedly concluded well.
ये मीटिंग बहुत अच्छी रही, बड़ा पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड था सभी मेंबर का और हमारे पहले जस्टिस अवस्थी ने अपना प्रेजेंटेशन दिया और उसके बाद में यू ललित साहब जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस रह चुके हैं उन्होंने दिया और सब ने दोनों प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए बहुत अप्रिशिएट किया सब मेंबर्स ने और मेंबर्स के जो क्लैरिफिकेशन क्वेश्चन थे वो सारा का सारा रिस्पॉन्ड हुए और सभी मेंबर्स जो मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ सारे पूरी कमेटी के सारे सदस्यों को.
As deliberations over One Nation, One Poll continues, all eyes are on the JPC report.
BSF has foiled a border breach attempt by a Pakistani intruder in the Tashpatan area of Pathankot as the BSF foiled the attempt of infiltration and neutralized the Pakistani intruder that was attempting to sneak in from the same area where the attackers of 2015 Dinanagar police station attack also came in. For more, stay tuned to Republic TV right after this short break.
That the Republic Plenary Summit is being held on March 6th. I've been a participant in the summit in earlier years. It's a remarkable event. I wish it all the best and all success.
The Supreme Court issued a notice in a special leave petition filed by Indian badminton player Lakshya Sen, challenging the Karnataka High Court's order which rejected his plea to quash an investigation into the allegation of fabricating birth certificates to take part in underage badminton tournaments. This means that any investigation against him has been stayed by the Supreme Court for now. Earlier, the petition filed by him relating to an age fraud case had been dismissed by the Karnataka High Court. The case against which Sen had filed a petition dates back to 2022 and accuses the player, his family, and his coach Vimal Kumar of allegedly tampering with birth certificates to gain an unfair advantage in junior badminton competitions. The Karnataka High Court had examined the petition filed by Sen and his family and determined that the preliminary evidence was sufficient to justify a further investigation. When prima facie materials are placed on record which constitute the offences, I do not find any reason either to stall the investigation or to quash the initiation of criminal proceedings, said Justice M.G. Uma. The judge further added that sufficient materials exist to ensure that the case against Sen and his family and coach goes ahead. There are sufficient materials that are placed before the court by the complainant, which are the documents that are obtained under the Right to Information Act from the appropriate authority. Under such circumstances, I do not find any reason to entertain the petition, said Justice M.G. Uma. The investigation against Sen was launched following a complaint by Nagaraja M.G., who
Viewers, top headlines. Air India lands in soup again after Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Now the BJP leader Jaiveer Shergill flags bad services of the airline. Central Board of Secondary Education to hold board examinations twice a year for Class 10 and Class 12 students. Mahakumbh's last Amrit Snan is today. Crews expected to take Holy Dip and Mahashivratri. Police on high alert. Karnataka legislators to get recliner seats from this session onwards for post-lunch nap, says Karnataka Assembly Speaker. And Bangladesh Army Chief issues stern warning, makes it clear, says enough is enough. Hold elections in December. morning, I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest. The Telangana government has issued orders for teaching Telugu as a compulsory subject for students of classes 1 to 10th in CBSE, ICSE, IB and other boards affiliated schools in the state from the 2025 to 2026 academic year. Very big update coming in right now, viewers, on Republic TV. Telangana government has gone ahead and issued orders for teaching Telugu as a compulsory subject of students 1st to 10th class in CBSE, ICSE, IB and other affiliated schools in the state. And this is applicable from 2025 this year to 2026. The state government has brought in the Telangana Compulsory Teaching and Learning Telugu in Schools Act in 2018 to make teaching Telugu compulsory in government, Mandal Parishad aided schools as well as CBSE, ICSE, IB and other board affiliated schools. Today is the 5th day since the 8 persons have been trapped in the partially collapsed tunnel, and this is happening in Telangana, viewers. Continuous surge of silt and water into the tunnel at a very high speed makes it extremely dangerous, even for the rescuers. So we see these updates coming in, viewers, where we see that the rescue operations are happening at full speed, but there are some challenges which have been thrown in because there's some complexities involved with this rescue operation. And I just want to go across to my colleague who's joining us, Aneri. Aneri is joining us live and she is very near that tunnel, the collapsed tunnel. Aneri, a multi-agency team is working around the clock and it's also a race against time, Aneri. If you could take our viewers through what is happening, what are the rescue workers doing, what equipments are they using and what challenges are they facing?
Well, Shivangi, definitely it's a race against time for these rescue teams who have been working for the last 5 days here at the Srisailam left bank canal to bring out the 8 workers who are trapped inside the tunnel. And today being the 5th day, the operations continue, and also at the same time now what we are being told is that the rescue teams are able to cross over the machine which was damaged there, broken down inside the tunnel, and also now they have crossed over. But the silt which has been gathered there in a huge quantity has now become solid, and that is one big challenge for the rescue teams to bring out the 8 workers who are trapped inside the tunnel. And also at the same time we have been seeing that there are almost 11 teams who have been working on ground there 24/7 for the last 5 days. Today being the 5th day, we see that the rescue operations continue.
That is right. Thank you for joining us, Aneri, with all those details. I will be coming back to you because the rescue operations are continuing and we are getting our viewers back-to-back updates on this story. But we will also now talk about the Holy Mahakumbh. Last day of the Holy Mahakumbh and millions have gathered for a holy dip at the Triveni Sangam in Prayagraj. Security has been beefed up. CM Yogi is also going ahead and monitoring the situation very closely from the control room. Today's Amrit Snan, remember, holds a special significance as the Mahakumbh is concluding on the eve of Mahashivratri, making this day extremely auspicious. I want to go ahead and play out this report by my colleague Raghavendra, who has been on the ground and is getting us back-to-back updates.
आज महाशिवरात्रि के साथ महाआयोजन का समापन हो जाएगा। आज महाशिवरात्रि स्नान के लिए लाखों करोड़ों की संख्या में श्रद्धालु लगातार प्रयागराज पहुंच रहे हैं। 65 करोड़ का आंकड़ा पहुंच चुका है श्रद्धालुओं का। कहा जा रहा है कि आज दिन भर में 4 से 5 करोड़ श्रद्धालु प्रयागराज त्रिवेणी में डुबकी लगा सकते हैं। ट्रैफिक की व्यवस्था जबरदस्त यहाँ पर की गई है। पुलिस प्रशासन यहाँ पर चप्पे चप्पे पर निगरानी कर रहा है। वरिष्ठ पुलिस अधिकारियों की एक टीम ग्राउंड जीरो पर काम कर रही है। ऐसे में श्रद्धालुओं को कोई दुख न हो, किसी तरह का कोई कष्ट न हो, इसकी पूरी देखरेख की जा रही है। मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ एक जगह बैठ के पूरी तरह से मॉनिटरिंग कर रहे हैं। सीसीटीवी कैमरे में एक एक पल, एक एक घाट की जानकारी ले रहे हैं। ऐसे में रिपब्लिक टीवी पर पल पल की खबर आपको ग्राउंड जीरो से प्रयागराज से दिखाते रहेंगे।
you do not forget to tune in today at 9 p.m. later on in the day, because remember that our editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami will be live on prime time talking about the Mahakumbh magic, as it is the last day of the Mahakumbh. We move ahead right now, viewers. Now we see Bangladesh Army Chief General has read the right act to political forces, saying that the country's freedom would be jeopardized if they continue their fighting and squabbling. He denounced attacks on the army and his office and says Bangladesh's armed forces were the only force standing with the people.
আমরা দেশে একটা ফ্রি ফেয়ার অ্যান্ড ইনক্লুসিভ একটা ইলেকশনের জন্য দিকে ধাবিত হচ্ছি, এবং তার আগে যে সমস্ত সংস্কার করা প্রয়োজন অবশ্যই সরকার সেদিকে হেল্প করবেন। পরে বলবেন যে আমি সতর্ক করিনি, আমি আপনাদের সতর্ক করে দিচ্ছি। আপনারা যদি নিজেদের মধ্যে ভেদাভেদ ভুলে একসাথে কাজ না করতে পারেন, নিজেরা যদি কাদা ছোড়াছুড়ি করেন, মারামারি কাটাকাটি করেন, এই দেশ এবং জাতির স্বাধীনতা সার্বভৌমত্ব বিপন্ন হবে। একটা কমন জিনিস আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি, সেনাবাহিনী এবং সেনা প্রধানের প্রতি বিদ্বেষ কারো কারো, কি কারণে আজ পর্যন্ত আমি এটা খুঁজে পাইনি। আমরা হচ্ছে একমাত্র ফোর্স যেটা আপনাদের জন্য কাজ করে যাচ্ছি, দাঁড়িয়ে আছি প্ল্যাটফর্মে। অফকোর্স নেভি অ্যান্ড এয়ারফোর্স, নেভি চিফ আমার মন খারাপ করে ইয়ে করছে, নেভি এয়ারফোর্স অল আমাদেরকে সাহায্য করেন, আমাদেরকে আক্রমণ করেন না।
We're getting some breaking updates coming in right now, viewers. And pilots on a Southwest Airlines flight attempting to land at Chicago's airport, Midway Airport, were forced to climb back into sky to avoid another flight crossing the runway. So this is what we see right now. A Southwest Airlines flight abruptly is rising. This is coming in as the pilots on Southwest Airlines flight attempted to land at Chicago's Midway Airport were forced to climb back into the sky to avoid another aircraft crossing the runway. This happened on Tuesday morning, that is in the US, in Chicago. And you can see those pictures also coming in on your screen for you viewers, where we see that the Southwest plane approaches the runway just before 9 a.m. before its nose abruptly pulls up. A smaller jet is seen crossing the runway that the passenger plane was set to use. And viewers, let's move ahead right now. The heated debate over language policy has been reignited across India and Tamil Nadu. And now we see a fierce showdown between the ruling DMK and the BJP. The issue of imposing Hindi has sparked protests and political rivalry after the Tamil Nadu CM M.K. Stalin declared the state as ready for a war. Here's a report. Take a look.
The language debate has been reignited pan-India. And in Tamil Nadu, it's a fierce two-way fight between the BJP and the ruling DMK. In a fresh face-off, Chief Minister Stalin has said that the state is ready for another language war. And why so? Because the DMK has repeatedly alleged the imposition of Hindi by the centre.
There is a legislation passed way back in 1968 in Tamil Nadu that we follow two language system in our educational policy, which is successful. We have done very good. Our dropout rate has reduced. Our people have studied well. Many of the people the world over are from Tamil Nadu and particularly South India. So this system is a successful system. They want us to change this system because they want us to learn Hindi, that's all. Beyond that, nothing. There is no improvement in the education.
The BJP, which has battled for a three-language policy in the state, has hit back at Stalin. Tamil Nadu BJP chief Annamalai called out Stalin's hypocrisy, that while the chief minister claims not to oppose learning a third language, state schools were being deprived of the opportunity. It is an all-out BJP versus DMK showdown.
This is laughable. If you really want to, black out Hindi from, the railway stations, why do you take that much stress? You have currency notes in your house where you have got Hindi. You do it. Black this, with the tar or even black ink. Many thousands of rupees you can do it. It is your property, it is your asset. Show your, commitment on this. You have got passports in your house. That also Hindi is there. See, all these things are silly.
Meanwhile, the AIADMK has contended that both parties were using the issue for their respective political gains.
With two-language policy, we have delivered results. We have given outstanding results. And Tamil Nadu state has set an example for other states to follow. Our biggest worry is this will open the back door for another language to gain momentum in Tamil Nadu, particularly Hindi.
Protests, agitation, and an evident North-South divide. Who is stoking the fire?
Much coming up, viewers. We are tracking the big story. Air India lands in a soup once again after Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, now BJP leader Jaiveer Shergill, flags bad services of the airline. Stay tuned.
The Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries. Category 2. Reclaiming history, culture and tradition.
Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. It is indeed a big moment of fortune and pride that we are all a part of this Bharata Desha. Reclaiming our Indian history, culture and tradition is one of the very many areas that this hackathon is being organized. Those youth under 30 are welcome to participate. Submit your entries by the 28th of February. Those of your innovative, research-driven, out-of-the-box ideas shall be reviewed by us, and those of you who are selected will get to present your ideas in Bharata Mandapam, New Delhi, in the august presence of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi.
It looks like we're getting very close. The deal's being worked on. We're, I think, getting very close to getting an agreement where we get our money back over a period of time. It looks like we're getting very close. The deal's being worked on. We're, I think, getting very close to getting an agreement where we get our money back over a period of time. But it also gives us something where I think it's very beneficial to their economy, to them as a country. But, we're in for $350 billion. How we got there, I don't know, but that's a lot of money, a lot of money invested, and we had nothing to show for it. And it was the Biden administration's fault.
Отримали першу угоду, в якій не було гарантій безпеки, і тут немає ніякого скандалу, просто вона не відповідає запиту. Тобто питання про те, що давайте 50 на 50 все ділити. Приблизно так перша угода виглядала. Я сказав, що я не піду на це і не дам міністрам підписати це. І я не збираюсь визнавати 500. Хто б що не говорив.
I'm Kajal Radhikar, co-founder at Spantric, and I'm excited to be the part of the Limitless India Youth Hackathon by Republic Media Network. As a part of science, technology and space category, I can't wait to see the innovative ideas coming from this event. I'm especially excited about the space because in the next decade, India will lead the way in space exploration and thriving a new space economy. What are you waiting for? Send your pitches now.
Welcome back, viewers. We live in breaking. Now, the CAG reports have put Aam Aadmi Party and particularly Arvind Kejriwal on the back foot on the issues of Liquorgate scam and splurging on the big CA residence, the bungalow. Here's a detailed report as we track the latest coming in.
षड्यंत्र रच के सबसे पहला काम इन्होंने किया, मनीष सिसोदिया के ऊपर एक झूठा आरोप लगाया। बोला मनीष सिसोदिया शराब में पैसे खा गया। और घोटाला क्या है सीबीआई की एफआईआर में? उसमें लिखा है कि एक शराब के वाले ने दूसरे शराब वाले के बैंक अकाउंट में 1 करोड़ रुपए जमा कराए। उसमें मनीष का क्या लेना देना यार? एक शराब वाले ने दूसरे को 1 करोड़ रुपए जमा कराए बैंक अकाउंट में, कि क्या घोटाला है? घोटाला क्या है ये समझ ही नहीं रहा अभी तक।
The Aam Aadmi Party has for long maintained the non-existence of the excise policy scam. But a CAG report tabled in the Delhi Assembly today has blown the lid off of a scam worth crores of rupees. The report highlights financial mismanagement, unlawful market practices, and a manipulation in tender, among many irregularities. Data suggests that the excise department incurred a loss of over 890 crores. The then AAP-led Delhi government reportedly experienced total losses exceeding 2,000 crores due to the excise policy. The report also exposes a nexus wherein liquor license was given to select entities without diligence. What is being termed as the Palace of Dreams, the CAG report also shows how the AAP spent 342% more than the estimated cost on Kejriwal's residence, and how taxpayer money was being used to build a luxurious space worth over 30 crores. The AAP stands cornered by its political opponents.
अरविंद केजरीवाल जी कहते थे ये तो फालतू कागज है, इसको तो कोर्ट जाती फाड़ कर फेंक देगी। अब समझ में आया, आज कैग रिपोर्ट में आप पढ़ेंगे, उसमें बताया गया कि किस तरह से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के मंत्रियों ने इस पॉलिसी को, जो कंप्लेंट आई थी उसको दरकिनार करते हुए इस पॉलिसी को बनाने का काम किया।
यू पीपल शुड गो बैक इन द हिस्ट्री कि ये पार्टी बनी क्यों थी, अन्ना हजारे आंदोलन में क्यों बैठे थे, सीएजी की रिपोर्ट पे बैठे थे, भ्रष्टाचार को ही इन्होंने इश्यू बनाया था, जन लोकपाल बिल की बात की थी। कितना दुर्भाग्य है कि जिस पार्टी की एग्जिस्टेंस सीएजी रिपोर्ट की वजह से हुई हो, जो जन लोकपाल बनाने के लिए बनी हो, वो अपने कार्यकाल में 10 साल में एक मर्तबा भी सीएजी की रिपोर्ट नहीं रखी उन्होंने टेबल की।
Siphoned funds and illegal quid pro quo arrangements. The Aam Aadmi Party has a lot to answer for.
This is an important time in Indian history. We are at the cusp of when we can become firstly the world's third largest economy, but then over the next quarter of a century becoming a developed, Viksit Bharat. At this summit, I am hoping to see a large number of young thought leaders, thinkers, and to see how they will be giving their efforts, ideas, etc., so that the current generation who is in policy making or running industry, we know what is the amazing pipeline of talent that is heading up towards us, and it is our job in some ways to create the stairways and structures for them to be able to reach Viksit Bharat at the end of the next quarter century. So hope to see you there, and I'm sure you'll find it very interesting to meet these young people.
Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total effort, and it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money. To be clear, we have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day and Russia would have paid for that.
The idea to send European troops in Ukraine to back the ceasefire?
European troops may go into Ukraine as peacemakers. So when the agreement is done, they can watch that everything's followed properly. I don't think that's going to be a problem. And a lot of the European countries, I think, I don't want to speak for France, but I know that the president's talked about doing that also. I think that'll be a very good day when we can go in as peacekeepers as opposed to what's going on right now with everybody being killed.
Will France support the U.S. being compensated?
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated because they are the one to have lose a lot of their fellow citizens and being destroyed by these attacks. Second, all of those who paid for could be compensated, but not by Ukraine, by Russia, because they were the one to aggress.
Again, just so you understand, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total effort, and it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money. To be clear, we have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day and Russia would have paid for that.
If you believe that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President,
if they get their money back, we don't, and now we do.
A big shout out to all young Indians. You have the opportunity to be a part of the Republic Plenary Summit 2025, Limitless India. All you have to do is send us a pitch deck with less than 5 minutes and upload it on summit.republicworld.com or simply scan the barcode on your screen and follow the steps. This year, there are 9 categories you can choose from, ranging from digital economy to artificial intelligence, and the best ideas will be chosen and showcased in front of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, who has agreed to be the chief guest at the Republic Plenary Summit 2025, Limitless India. So go ahead and send us that pitch deck. the Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries. Category 9. AI and Machine Learning.
AI is the battlefield of the future, and India must just not compete but dominate this. I'm excited to see Republic Media Network bring together young minds to bring out their newest ideas in this exciting field of AI. I want to see how your ideas can change India's future by using this limitless technology which can drive innovation, power economies, and truly change the face of the world.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Viewers, the energy is rising, the spark is igniting. Republic Youth Summit 2025 is here. This Friday, 28th of February, witness the voices, the ideas and the passion reshaping India's future. From the Yuva to the Yuva Shakti, it's bold, it's fearless, it's limitless. So be ready to feel a spark. Stay tuned, only on Republic TV. Time for the headlines. Air India lands in soup again after Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Now BJP leader JV Shergill flags a bad service of the airline. Central Board of Secondary Education, that is the CBSE, to hold board examinations now twice a year for the class 10 and class 12 students. Mahakumbh's last Amrit Snan today. Crores expected to take the holy dip on Mahashivratri. Police on high alert. BSF troops foil infiltration attempt in Punjab's Pathankot. One Pakistani intruder eliminated during intrusion. And Karnataka legislators to get recliner seats from this session onwards for post-lunch naps, says Karnataka Assembly Speaker. Bangladesh Army Chief issues a stern warning, makes it clear, says enough is enough. Hold elections in December. Hello, very warm welcome. You're watching Republic TV and I'm Rakshita with you. It's the last day of the Holy Mahakumbh, the final day. The conclusion is happening today and millions have gathered for the holy dip at the Triveni Sangam in Prayagraj. Security has been beefed up and Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has been monitoring the arrangements from the control room. And today's Amrit Snan holds a special significance as the Mahakumbh is concluding today on the special occasion of Mahashivratri. My colleague Raghavendra Pandey joins us live on the broadcast from Prayagraj. Raghavendra, हमें बताइए किस तरह का माहौल है, कैसा वातावरण है? हर हर महादेव की गूंज आपको सुनाई दे रही होगी. आज जो है इस महाकुंभ का फाइनल अंतिम अमृत स्नान है.
बिल्कुल, देखिए मेरे पीछे भी एक बैकग्राउंड चल रहा है, महादेव के गाने बज रहे हैं. पूरे कुंभ में यही हाल है कि श्रद्धालु लाखों करोड़ों की संख्या में चले आ रहे हैं. 65.5 करोड़ श्रद्धालु. सोचिए, कल्पना कीजिए, अभी तक के इस इतिहास में जो भी लोगों ने सुना होगा, जाना होगा, इतने मास पीपल, इतने बड़े श्रद्धालु किसी भी सांस्कृतिक धार्मिक आयोजन में अब तक इकट्ठा नहीं हुए हैं. 65.5 करोड़ और अभी चले ही आ रहे हैं श्रद्धालुओं का हाल अगर भक्तों का सैलाब दिखाइए, वो श्रद्धालुओं का सैलाब दिखाइए जो तीर्थराज प्रयाग में पवित्र त्रिवेणी में डुबकी लगाकर लौट रहे हैं। कोई जा रहा है, कोई आ रहा है। भारत के कोने कोने से, हर दिशाओं से, गांव-गांव से, शहर से, यहाँ तक विदेशों से भी साधु संत श्रद्धालु चले आ रहे हैं। क्या बड़ा, क्या छोटा, क्या गरीब, क्या अमीर, क्या गोरा और क्या काला, कोई भेद नहीं। एक ही घाट पे सभी लोग स्नान कर रहे हैं। यह है कुंभ। एकता का मैसेज दिया गया, सनातन का मैसेज दिया गया और विश्व कल्याण का मैसेज दिया गया। प्रयागराज महाकुंभ ने बहुत कुछ दिया है, बहुत कुछ सिखाया है और बहुत कुछ दुनिया को बताया है। आधी आबादी देश की चली आई, यहाँ पर खाई पी रही, सोई और एक शांति के साथ एक भी घटना कभी श्रद्धालुओं ने अपने हाथों में नहीं लिया। श्रद्धालुओं ने एक भी छोटा सा उत्पात नहीं किया। आज महा स्नान को लेकर के चारों तरफ सिक्योरिटी फोर्स लगाई गई है, ट्रैफिक डाइवर्जन किया गया है। 36 पार्किंग अराउंड संगम की ओर है। वरिष्ठ पुलिस, हायर पुलिस अधिकारी लगातार ग्राउंड में टहल रहे हैं। मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ गोरखपुर में बैठ के मॉनिटरिंग कर रहे हैं, एक एक पल की जानकारी ले रहे हैं, एक एक घाट की जानकारी मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ को बताई जा रही है, दिखाया जा रहा है और अगर उनको आवश्यकता पड़ने पर वह निर्देश भी दे रहे हैं वरिष्ठ अधिकारियों को। इस तरह से श्रद्धालुओं को कोई दिक्कत न हो, पूरी तरह से उस तरह से व्यवस्थित कुंभ चल रहा है। किसी भी तरह के वाहन को वर्जित किया गया है। मेला प्रशासन और स्वास्थ्य से जुड़े हुए वाहन चल रहे हैं। आकस्मिक स्थिति को निपटने के लिए, स्थिति से निपटने के लिए जो वाहन है वह मेला क्षेत्र में है। बाकी श्रद्धालु को कोई दिक्कत न हो इसके लिए मेले को रोक दिए, मेले में वाहनों को रोक दिया गया है। तो पूरा जो ये मेला प्रशासन है आज लगा हुआ है और एक सुचारू ढंग से यहाँ पर पूरी तरह से श्रद्धालु आ रहे हैं, पवित्र त्रिवेणी में डुबकी लगा रहे हैं और तीर्थराज प्रयाग एक नए कीर्तिमान की ओर बढ़ता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है।
जूना अखाड़े हो, अग्नि अखाड़ा हो, सभी जो पीठाधीश्वर हैं, महामंडलेश्वर हैं, वो दर्शनों के लिए यहाँ पर पहुंचे और उन्होंने बाबा के दर्शन के लिए जलाभिषेक यहाँ पर किया और उसी के लिए जो कतार में जो लोग हैं वो यहाँ पर इस वक्त लगे हुए हैं। उनसे बात भी हम यहाँ पर करेंगे। कहाँ से आए हैं?
हरियाणा से। हरियाणा
कहाँ से आए हैं?
हरियाणा।
कैसा लग रहा है?
बहुत बढ़िया।
प्रयागराज में स्नान हो गया?
हो गया।
प्रयागराज में स्नान हो गया?
हो गया।
हो गया।
कितने घंटों से लगे कतार में?
नहीं, ज्यादा नहीं लगा। हाँ?
थकावट तो
नहीं हुई नहीं। नहीं।
इंतजाम कैसे हैं?
बहुत बढ़िया।
बहुत बढ़िया है। इंतजाम कैसे हैं? कहाँ से आई हैं?
प्रयागराज
से आए हैं।
कलकत्ता से
आए हैं। प्रयागराज में स्नान कर लिया?
हाँ, कर लिया।
प्रयागराज में स्नान हो चुका है और ये कतार आप देखिए पीछे तक, जहां तक आपकी नजर जाएगी सिर्फ और सिर्फ जो लोग हैं वो आपको यहाँ पर दिखेंगे, जो कई कई घंटों से इंतजार कर बाबा के दर्शनों के लिए इस वक्त यहाँ पर लगे हुए हैं। कुछ और लोगों से बात करेंगे। क्या नाम भाई साहब, कहाँ से आए हैं?
कोंडे तेलुगु, आंध्र प्रदेश, आंध्र से आया। लाइन में 2 घंटे
4 घंटे से लगे हैं लाइन में। चाय तो नहीं है?
नहीं।
तेलंगाना में प्रयागराज में स्नान हो गया?
स्नान हो गया। प्रयागराज
स्नान हो गया। कहाँ से आई हैं?
प्रयागराज से।
अच्छा, स्नान करके आ गए?
हाँ, अच्छा स्नान करके आ गए। सब दर्शन अच्छा हो गया है। सब बोले बाबा की।
तो जयकारे लगातार लग रहे हैं और आखिर कैसी तस्वीरें देश के अलग अलग कोने से भी आ रही हैं वो हम आपके यहाँ पर दिखाते हैं। अपने सहयोगी का जरा यहाँ पर रुक करेंगे। लोमस हमारे साथ है यहाँ पर। लोमस,
petals being the flower petals being showered on the devotees from the helicopters, as it is done on every Amrit Snan. You can see those visuals, the aerial shots coming in, those rose petals being showered upon all the devotees, the millions of devotees, the saints, the sadhus, people from across the globe who have converged at the Triveni Sangam. That is the holy confluence. And Prayagraj, of course, is the center of all the festivities that have been going on for weeks now. And this is the conclusion of of the Mahakumbh, the largest, the biggest, the holiest religious gathering of the world, where you see people uniting across caste, creed, color and class, and on gender, of course. And we see that more than 60 crore people, highest number of devotees, this Kumbh, this Mahakumbh. And of course the rush indeed is being witnessed today on the occasion of Mahashivratri. Republic TV's network of reporters continue to get you all the latest.
शिव से जुड़ी हुई है।
कहते हैं कि सर्व सुगंधि लेपित लिंगम पंकजहार शोभित लिंगम, सब प्रकार की जो है अपना दूध है, दही है, घी है, पंचामृत वगैरह है, और कुछ भी नहीं तो जल से भी आप जो है अभिषेक भगवान का कर सकते हैं। शिवाय नमो या ओम नमो शिवाय मंत्र बोलते हुए, या तत्पुरुषाय विधिमय महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात्, ये शिव गायत्री मंत्र है। तो इसमें विशेष रूप से जो है अपने मन में भावना जो श्रद्धा है लोगों की, तो ये विशेष रूप से तो क्या है कि गन्ने का जूस है, जल है, दूध है, दही है, जो भी अपना सब प्रकार का जो रस वगैरह है उनको भगवान को अर्पित कर सकते हैं कि संचित पाप विनाश लिंगम तत्प्रणव सदा शिवलिंगम, जन्म जन्मों के पापों को विनाश करने वाले महादेव है। और आज भगवान शिव पर दुनिया में प्रकट हुए थे, एक तरह से ज्योतिर्लिंग के रूप में प्रकट हुए थे, और ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश ने भी इनका पूजा किया था। तो इसीलिए जो विशेष रूप से आज दिन की मानता है।
बिल्कुल, एक भीड़ हमने प्रयागराज में देखी, एक भीड़ हमने बनारस में देखी, और एक भीड़ हमने अयोध्या में देखी, और दूसरी भीड़ यहाँ पर इस मंदिर में देखी है कि हजारों के तादाद में सुबह से ही श्रद्धालु पहुँच रहे हैं।
ये रात से ही है, यहाँ पर करीब 12 बजे से ही लोगों का। और यहाँ दूधेश्वर भगवान का जो गाजियाबाद में सिद्धपीठ है, ये बहुत प्राचीन मंदिर है, और यहाँ लोगों की श्रद्धा है। पूरा अपना ये आसपास के जितने भी एनसीआर के सब लोग आते हैं, दूसरे पंजाब, हरियाणा, राजस्थान वगैरह को, हरियाणा से भी, राजस्थान से भी बहुत लोग, सभी प्रांतों से भी यहाँ लोग दर्शन करने के लिए आते हैं। तो बहुत मानता है। तो लोगों का यहाँ, जैसे आपने अयोध्या जी में बोला, तो अयोध्या जी की तरह एक महाशिवरात्रि पर यहाँ भी जो है वो कुंभ मेला है, अयोध्या है, ऐसे ही काशी है, ऐसे ही यहाँ पर जो है काशी विश्वनाथ का उप ज्योतिर्लिंग के रूप में माना जाता है। जो काशी लोग नहीं जा सकते तो वो दूधेश्वर भगवान का आके पूजा करते हैं जी।
बिल्कुल, युवाओं में भी काफ़ी क्रेज बढ़ा है, और यहाँ पर लगातार युवाओं की संख्या सबसे ज़्यादा है। पुरुष की संख्या तो है, युवाओं की संख्या काफ़ी ज़्यादा है। आज महाशिवरात्रि का पल है।
युवाओं में अभी मैं देखता हूँ कि कभी 10-15 सालों से बहुत भक्ति भावना लोगों में आए है, और जैसा बोलते राजा होता है वैसी प्रजा होती है। जैसे अभी एक मुख्यमंत्री जी जो है वो महंत है, और अपने एक योगी जी जो है, और विशेष रूप से प्रधानमंत्री एक साधु के रूप में है। तो ऐसा होने से पूरा जो भाव है लोगों के, भाई वो इतना श्रद्धा भावना पूजा पाठ करते हैं, तो एक आम आदमी में भी एक भावना जगती है, और निश्चित रूप से भक्तों की संख्या कोरोना के बाद में भगवान के प्रति लोगों की श्रद्धा बढ़ी है जी।
करना है
दर्शन करने के लिए, पूजा अर्चना करने के लिए। मेरी मौजूदगी प्रयागराज में है, और प्रयागराज में इस वक्त जो आस्था का महाकुंभ चल रहा है, इस महाकुंभ में आज का दिन बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, क्योंकि आज महाशिवरात्रि है, और आज अमृत स्नान का जो दिन है वो आखिरी, और आज ही महाकुंभ खत्म भी होने वाला है। और यही वजह कि आज जो लोग देख रहे हैं आप मेरे पीछे, ये लोग तमाम लोग स्नान करने के बाद यहाँ पर जुड़े हुए हैं। स्नान हो गया आप लोगों का?
हो गया।
कहाँ से आए हैं आप?
बिहार से।
बिहार से?
औरंगाबाद।
कैसी व्यवस्था रही स्नान करने की?
बहुत अच्छा है।
अच्छी व्यवस्था?
बहुत अच्छा है।
स्नान हो गया?
हाँ, अच्छा से। हाँ, हो गया।
कोई दिक्कत परेशानी?
नहीं, कोई दिक्कत परेशानी नहीं।
रात्रि के मौके पे स्नान करने का मौका मिला है आप लोगों को, कितने सौभाग्य वाले?
हम मैडम भाग्यशाली है। एक बार आए थे जबलपुर से, रिटर्न गए, महादेव का बुलावा था तो रिटर्न दूसरी बार आए, तो अभी अच्छा स्नान हुआ। और योगी जी का बहुत शुक्रिया अदा है हिंदुओं के लिए, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी हमको इतना आस्था से हम लोग इधर आते, सभी भक्त आते, सभी जातिवाद में
तो रिश्ते थे, हम लोग रिटर्न गए, अभी दूसरी बार आए।
लौट गए? हाँ। क्यों लौट गए थे?
क्यों? ट्रेन नहीं आ रही थी बीच में। ट्रेन नहीं आ रही? नहीं, ट्रेन रुक गया था, उधर से बिहार चला गया।
अच्छा, तो ट्रेन वापस लौट गई थी इनकी, लेकिन ये दोबारा आई कुंभ में प्रयास कर।
हाँ, कल आए।
आज स्नान हो गया?
हाँ, स्नान। दिक्कत बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत अच्छा लगा।
व्यवस्था कैसी है?
अच्छा है।
लोगों का स्नान
बहुत अच्छा रहा। योगी जी, मोदी सरकार का जो इस तरह यहाँ ये 144 साल के बाद जो महाकुंभ हो रहा है, महाशिवरात्रि के पावन पर्व पर हमको यहाँ पर स्नान करने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ। बहुत ही विलक्षण ये जो दृश्य है, और मनोरम बहुत बढ़िया बनाया हुआ है। और यहाँ की जो व्यवस्था है, व्यवस्था बहुत बढ़िया है। लोगों ने दुष्प्रचार किया हुआ है कि वहाँ भीड़ है, ये है, वो है। कोई भीड़ नहीं है, अपना आराम से जो आओ और जाओ। 60-70 बिल्कुल बहुत बढ़िया।
आप लोग का स्नान हो गया?
बहुत अच्छा लगा मैडम यहाँ पे आकर। हमारी तो ट्रेन रद्द होती रीवा एक्सप्रेस, अब दूसरी गाड़ी से जनरल डिब्बे में लेके आए हैं।
अच्छा, दिक्कत ट्रेन में आने में?
हाँ, दिक्कत भीड़ थी।
जो दिक्कत लोगों को थोड़ी बहुत हुई वो उसको भूल गए यहाँ पे आकर।
सब बढ़िया हो गया,
स्नान हो गया,
बहुत अच्छा व्यवस्था।
मैं अपने कैमरा पर्सन से कहूँ कि तस्वीर दिखाए वो आपको। देखिए ये मेला क्षेत्र से वापस लौट रहे लोग हैं और जो तस्वीर दिखा रही हूँ मैं आपको। भाई साहब आपका स्नान हो गया?
हाँ, स्नान हो गया।
कैसा रहा स्नान?
बहुत अच्छा रहा।
व्यवस्था कैसी है?
बहुत अच्छी व्यवस्था है। लोग कहते हैं कि काफी भीड़ है, यहाँ कुछ भीड़ नहीं है।
कुछ भीड़ नहीं।
विपक्षी को सिर्फ आवाज चाहिए। हर हर महादेव, योगी सरकार जिंदाबाद।
स्नान हो गया आप लोगों का?
एकदम बढ़िया। हर हर
व्यवस्था कैसी है?
बहुत बढ़िया, ऑसम ऑसम।
महाशिवरात्रि के मौके पे स्नान करने का मौका मिला आप लोगों को, कैसे भाव उभर रहे हैं?
बहुत अच्छा लगा और बहुत अच्छी व्यवस्था है, मतलब बहुत आनंदमय हो गए वहाँ।
योगी जी ने व्यवस्था कैसी है?
बहुत अच्छा जी, जैसे एकदम बहुत बढ़िया व्यवस्था है, बहुत बढ़िया।
परेशानी?
कोई परेशानी नहीं।
उन्होंने कहा कि भीड़ है, गंदगी, ऐसा कुछ
नहीं, कुछ नहीं है। आप मेले आए, भीड़ में तो होगी थोड़ी बहुत, लेकिन बहुत बढ़िया है।
जो हुजूम उमड़ रहा है लोगों का, चाहे महिलाएं हो, पुरुष हो, नौजवान हो, वो यहाँ पे दिखाई दे रहे हैं। सीधे रुख करेंगे सहयोगी गौरव का जो जुड़ रहे हैं हमारे साथ अयोध्या से। गौरव, जहाँ पर मेरी मौजूदगी है यहाँ तो लोग खत्म होने का नाम नहीं ले रहे हैं। कुछ लोग मुझसे नाराज भी हो गए कि उन्हें बात करने का मौका नहीं मिला। आप जहाँ पे मौजूद हैं वहाँ पे तस्वीर कैसी है, उमंग कैसा है लोगों की भीतर दर्शन को लेकर और आज के दिन को लेकर?
And you can see, viewers, the spirit of the Sanatanis there. You can see the faith these millions of devotees have, all uniting together despite the weather. This is going on for 45 long days, viewers, and despite any kind of weather, be it chilly weather, be it sunny weather, be it windy, whatever it may be, day or night, we see millions of these devotees having their faith, and in their faith they continue to, they reach the Trivedi Sangam, they reach the ghats, and they fulfill their wishes. And this is the final opportunity of this Mahakumbh, and of course the significance of it is something that it's quite visible from these pictures, viewers, and we continue to get you more how it's out there at Prayagraj today. Right now we shift our focus to the other stories we're tracking from across the country. Now, Jammu and Kashmir High Court ordered NHAI to charge only 20% of toll fee till the completion of Lakhanpur to Udhampur National Highway. Further directives ordered that another toll can't be established within 60 kilometers of National Highway 60. In a tragic incident, 5 people including 2 women died after a government bus collided with a car. Emergency personnel rushed to the site and fought with time to rescue the victims trapped between the wreckage. The emergency personnel had to cut open the car to take out the bodies. While the front of the bus was heavily damaged, the car was completely crushed due to the impact. The bodies have since been sent to the state hospital. Maharashtra Cyber Cell summoned internet personality Apurva Makhija amid outrage over the YouTube show India's Got Latent. Makhija recorded her statement at the cell. So far, 6 people, including YouTubers Ranveer Alabadia and Ashish Chanchalani, have recorded their statements. In the continued crackdown on violence, Manipur police detained 2 active cadres of a banned outfit for carrying arms with malicious intent. Apart from the ammunition, the police also seized government documents from the accused. Following the tragic death of a 20-year-old Nepalese student in Odisha's KIT University, the Odisha government has summoned 4 more KIT officials to depose before the high-level committee probing the death of the student. The officials were asked to appear before a panel headed by the Additional Chief Secretary Satyabrato Sahu. Following a terrifying crime that led to the death of a bank data manager in an encounter, the police have detained the accused in Noida. The police stumbled upon an anxious accused during routine checking. The accused, identified as Bunty, opened fire upon the police when he saw them approaching. Quick retaliation led to the arrest. The police also seized illegal weapons, Aadhaar, driving license and cash from the accused. Probe is underway. And viewers, one of the biggest stories of the day that we are tracking is the Air India once again landing in soup. Well, after Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, it's now BJP leader Jaiveer Shergill who has flagged pathetic service of the airline. He's called it the worst experience. And in a social media platform X post, Jaiveer took a dig at Air India, and I quote, "If there was an Oscar equivalent for worst airlines, Air India would win hands down in every category, from broken seats to worst staff and pathetic on ground," unquote. And we are joined by Mohandas Pai on the broadcast on the phone line. Mr. Mohandas Pai, this is happening time and again. It's in fact a huge embarrassment. Mr. Mohandas Pai, if you could hear me, it's a huge embarrassment. It's a huge embarrassment for Air India. First, we had the Union Minister, now we have Jaiveer Shergill, and there are multiple accounts on social media. The common man also who flies, who takes the services of Air India. There are multiple complaints that are coming in, and there is no end to it.
Yes, there's no end to it. The Vistara part of Air India is a fantastic airline. The old legacy airline sucks. The staff is rude. Many of the staff is rude. The check-in process sucks. The people don't talk to you. They don't inform you. And they sell seats which are broken. No airline can sell seats which are broken. If an airline cannot find out which seats in a plane are broken and should not be sold, what does it show about that kind of management? I think if it carries on, the CEO of Air India should be sacked. If the CEO of Air India cannot ensure that broken seats which are not good, are not sold, are blocked, I don't think he should be in the seat. I mean, this is a service airline, and this kind of bad service cannot keep going on year after year after year. This is a continuing legacy, and it points out to two things: bad service of the staff, of the legacy staff, and bad seats being sold. And bad seats can easily be identified in every aircraft. And when you go on a airline, you go on a plane to a long distance and you're made to sit in a bad seat, what does it show the mentality of Air India? What is the CEO doing? What are the people at the top doing? I think it's becoming a national disgrace. The Vistara part of Air India is fantastic. One of the best airlines in the world. The service is top class. The planes are very good and they treat you very well. It's the legacy part which has a very bad management style, and they should be rectified urgently, or the government should tell them to stop flying those planes with broken seats.
You know, Mr. Mohandas Pai, we had, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan saying that, he expected that after the Tata takeover, things will be better, but it has only gone worse now, sir. And, it seems that the 3 years weren't enough for this transformation and transition.
No, I know. See, it's a very simple thing. Why can't you stop selling the broken seats? Inspect every aircraft every day and stop selling the broken seats, block the broken seats. It's a very simple thing to do. You can observe which seat is broken. It doesn't take too much of time, and don't sell those seats. I mean, this is ridiculous. Don't tell me that a simple thing cannot be done. It's housekeeping.
Right.
And I think we should not put up with it anymore. And the government authorities should ban that plane flying which has broken seats in case they don't remedy this. I think government has been too lenient to them. And I would request the top brass of Tata Sons to intervene and censure the CEO.
Right, sir.
That's the only way it will work.
Right, sir. Of course, sir. There needs to be accountability. Thank you so much, Mohandas Pai, for joining us with your thoughts on that story. We also have more reactions coming in. In fact, Subhash Goyal, aviation expert, is joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Goyal, well, you just heard Mohandas Pai, and there are many people who are actually outraged. They're enraged, in fact, by what has been happening. And just one apology is posted. It actually, the fact that it took a union minister's, flagging on social media that we are talking about this very seriously, but this has been going for ages now. But there's no hard action that has been taken yet over the airlines or the people who are responsible for it.
Well, I agree with you that, and I agree with Mr. Pai that there is no excuse for selling broken seats. They must take immediate action. Air India should take immediate action and ensure that no broken seat is sold. And that is something that can be done immediately. As far as the aircraft are concerned, as I mentioned earlier, that Air India taking over Air India, no one else was interested in taking over Air India. It was a big challenge. And that challenge has been accepted by the Tata Group. And in all fairness, you see, I'm not trying to defend Air India. I'm saying that yes, action has to be taken on the staff that has sold the broken seats, and regular checkup has to be done of all the inside of the aircraft, not just the seats, but also the air ducts, also the upholstery, everything, the cleanliness of the toilets, everything has to be checked. But having said that, I think, Air India has inherited a lot of old planes and a lot of old, staff, which are used to couldn't care less attitude, government style of functioning. And they are slowly but definitely replacing those staff, and they are having regular training programs. And it will be wrong to say that Air India has become the worst airline in the world. I don't agree with Mr. Shergill. I know that, yes, he faced a situation, but I have faced similar situations in some of the world's best airlines. So these are incidents that happen. You see, it's a work in progress. It will take at least 2 more years for Air India to come back to its past glory, when they will start replacing all the old aircrafts with the new aircrafts. Whatever you may do with the old aircrafts, you repair the seats, but their life is wrong. So either they have to replace all the seats with new seats, or they have to find a solution. But yes, it's a serious problem, and it is not only damaging the image of Air India, it is also damaging the image of Tatas. And as rightly mentioned by the previous speaker, Vistara was a world-class airline. That also Tata and Singapore Airline were using their expertise to run it. I think if the same quality and the same discipline and the same, practices could be adopted by Air India, I'm sure that Air India will again, become the world's best airline. And we all in the tourism and travel industry are supporting Air India in their endeavor. It's a very, very difficult task. It's not easy to immediately cure a diseased person. You have to undergo a lot of operations, you have to undergo a lot of treatment, and it takes time for an individual to recoup. So it will take time for Air India to recoup and come back. But I think some of the flights I've taken on Air India, particularly the business class, have been world class. And I'm fully satisfied with their services. And because I'm satisfied with their services, again on the 21st of March, I'm again taking a flight on Air India. And I'm sure that Air India has challenges, has problems, but they will overcome. And it's our national airline, and even though it's private now, but we still value Air India, and we want Air India to succeed. And the industry is ready to support Air India to become the best airline in the world.
Right. Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Subhash Goel, for joining us with your thoughts on that story. We continue to track more updates on that story. What we know is that Air India, on Jaiveer Shergill's post, had replied on X that we are sorry for the inconvenience, and that please DM us so that we can take out that time, we can decide over a time, and we can address your concern. This has been happening for quite some time now, viewers, and there are of course many questions to the Civil Aviation Ministry as well, DGCA as well, that is there a good robust redressal of complaints, a consumer complaint system or not. That of course remains to be seen, because this is a recurring problem with Air India and many other airlines, of course. That is something that needs to be worked on. We'll continue to get you more updates on that, but right now we step into a short break. In fact, we will be getting you more updates. All right, viewers. We'll get you more update. Take a look at this report on how the JPC has held a crucial meeting on the Arnab.
The One Nation, One Poll bill is under review by a joint parliamentary committee. After fierce showdown in Parliament, the bill was sent to a panel headed by BJP MP PP Chaudhary. A meeting that was held on Tuesday reportedly concluded well.
ये मीटिंग बहुत अच्छी रही, बड़ा पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड था सभी मेंबर का, और हमारे पहले जस्टिस अवस्थी ने अपना प्रेजेंटेशन दिया, और उसके बाद में यू ललित साहब जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस रह चुके हैं उन्होंने दिया, और सब ने दोनों प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए बहुत अप्रिशिएट किया सब मेंबर्स ने, और मेंबर्स के जो क्लैरिफिकेशन क्वेश्चन थे वो सारा का सारा रिस्पॉन्ड हुए, और सभी मेंबर्स जो मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ सारे पूरी कमेटी के सारे सदस्यों को।
As deliberations over One Nation, One Poll continues, all eyes are on the JPC report.
BSF has foiled a border breach attempt by a Pakistani intruder in the Tashpatan area of Pathankot as the BSF foiled the attempt of infiltration and neutralized the Pakistani intruder that was attempted to sneak in from the same area where the attackers of 2015 Dinanagar police station attack also came in. For more, stay tuned to Republic TV right after this short break.
The Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries. Category 2. Reclaiming history, culture and tradition.
India stands at the cusp of a new era. I am thrilled that Republic Media Network bringing together the brightest young minds together in Republic Plenary Summit. I am particularly interested towards reclaiming history, culture, tradition of India in that particular segment. I'm really hopeful that the young mind could bring a new ideas of India's history, culture and tradition.
الخيمة أأمن من المكان اللي احنا قاعدين فيه. يعني احنا حاليا قاعدة بغرفة مقصوفة. طبعا لو بده يرجع الحرب أول حاجة حاعملها إن أنا حطلع من الغرفة، لأنه مع أي قصفة قريبة منا أو أي هزة قريبة منا الغرفة حتقع علينا. احنا اليوم فيش عنا حاجة بنقدر نقول إنه هي موجودة مريحانة. فيش إشي متوفر، لا بيت ولا كهرباء ولا مية ولا أكل ولا حاجة ولا حاجة ولا حاجة.
في كل العالم كل بيت متوفر فيه كهرباء ومية وغاز وكل هاي الأشياء، يعني هذه الأشياء ديفولت، يعني أشياء افتراضية. أما إحنا بنصحى بننام وإحنا بندور على هاي الأشياء الأساسية. بتصحى بتدور على المية، بتصحى بتشحن جوالك، بتصحى بتدور على مكان تجيب منه غاز، بتدور على أكل، بتدور هيك. حياتنا صارت فقط عبارة عن الأشياء الأساسية، البحث عن متطلبات.
headlines. Air India lands in soup again after Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Now BJP leader Jaiveer Shargil flags bad services of the airline. Central Board of Secondary Education to hold board examinations twice a year for Class 10 and Class 12 students. Proposal yet to be finalized. Mahakumph's last Amrit Snan today. Millions gathered to take holy dip on Mahashivratri. BSF troops foil infiltration attempt in Punjab's Pathankot. One Pakistani intruder eliminated during intrusion. Karnataka legislators to get recliner seats from this session onwards for post-lunch naps, says Karnataka Assembly Speaker. A Bangladesh Army chief issues stern warning, makes it clear, says enough is enough, hold elections in December. Viewers, we're getting you some big updates coming in. We're live and breaking as a tussle continues over the Hindi imposition between the centre and DMK government in Tamil Nadu. BJP leader and party's IT cell chief Amit Malviya has called out Tamil Nadu CM Stalin's hypocrisy on language policy. Malviya is saying that Stalin's opposition to the three-language formula described in the national education policy is nothing but political opportunism. Malviya further adds that in 2015, during this big campaign which was being held, MK Stalin assured the Muslim community that Urdu could be made compulsory in schools if the DMK were voted to power, and Stalin even promised to enact a law to enforce this. Back-to-back updates coming in right now on Republic TV, viewers, and this is a tussle over the Hindi imposition that has now turned out to be in the eye of the storm, viewers. And I just want to go across to my colleague who's joining us because, you know, what we see right now, Sharada is joining us live from Chennai. What we see right now is a big war over Hindi imposition. There has been a lot of tussle between centre and DMK government in Tamil Nadu, also going to the extent of MK Stalin calling war on this entire language issue. If you could take our viewers through what the latest is.
Well, the language imposition war has been going for the past 5 days in Tamil Nadu, and DMK leader Stalin has been constantly stating that the centre is imposing Hindi in the state. Though the NEP clearly states that it could have been any Indian language that could be taken as a third language policy in government schools, the DMK continues to consider it to be an imposition of Hindi and Sanskrit in the state, and centre is only focusing on that. Yesterday, during the DMK protest, the student wing's leader actually did not know why they were protesting because they considered NEP to be a Hindi imposition, and we actually took it on screen yesterday as well. And today, Stalin fighting against NEP and called for an all-party meet on March 5th, stating that they'll be fighting against NEP, NEET, and any other policy that the centre is bringing to the state. However, the education policies is something that I think the DMK has still not read completely to understand that NEP is nothing but only a new syllabus. It's not a new syllabus, but just a new format of studying. Also, this is not new for Tamil Nadu because back in the 60s also there was a alleged Hindi imposition in the state, and people in Tamil Nadu have been fighting against the language for a very long time.
That is right. Okay, I'll come back to you. This is a huge story, and the language debate continues there. We have to move ahead because some big breaking news is coming in. Aam Aadmi Party declares the MP Sanjeev Arora as candidate for the by-elections from Punjab's Ludhiana West. This is more updates coming in right now, viewers. This is coming in. When we talk about the by-polls, this is what we see right now. Aam Aadmi Party picks MP Sanjeev Arora as candidate for Ludhiana West Assembly poll. Back-to-back updates coming in right now. Aam Aadmi Party is picking Arora in fact, what we learned so far is Aam Aadmi Party has announced that Rajya Sabha MP Sanjeev Arora will be the candidate for the Ludhiana West Assembly election. These are some big updates coming in right now on Republic TV, viewers, and this is coming in as we keep getting you back-to-back updates here on Republic TV. So what we see right now is that these are the big updates coming in. Aam Aadmi Party is has picked the MP Sanjeev Arora as candidate for the Ludhiana West Assembly polls. And very, very important update coming in. There will be some meetings held on this as well. We'll try to connect to reporters on the ground to really understand what we can expect next. But the Aam Aadmi Party has announced Rajya Sabha MP Sanjeev Arora as the candidate for the Ludhiana West Assembly elections. I'll try to get you more updates on this right now, but this is what we see at this point of time. Aam Aadmi Party has fielded Sanjeev Arora, it's Rajya Sabha member from Punjab in the Ludhiana West Assembly by-election, which needs to take place before July 11th. Because the rules say that a parliamentary or assembly seat cannot remain vacant for more than 6 months. The by-election to the Ludhiana West Assembly segment needs to be conducted within 6 months since the seat fell vacant after the demise of incumbent Aam Aadmi Party MLA Gurpreet Singh Gogi on January 11th. Now, the pick for the Aam Aadmi Party is, at this point of time, what we understand is Rajya Sabha member Sanjeev Arora for the Ludhiana West. Big update coming in right now on Republic TV. Getting you back-to-back updates coming in. Let's go straight across to our guest who's joining us on the phone line. We're being joined by MLA Sukhpal Khera, who has been patched with us, who is with us right now. Yes, Mr. Khera, if you could take our viewers through the latest coming in right now, because what we see is that Aam Aadmi Party was supposed to go with Sanjeev Arora for the by-polls. But it looks like that has happened. What is your first reaction to this?
So my reaction is that this is a kind of a conspiracy to usurp the seat of Sanjeev Arora, Rajya Sabha seat, by Kejriwal. He has bribed and allured Sanjeev Arora to fight the Ludhiana West MLA by-election in Punjab. So that Rajya Sabha seat gets vacated and he can become a Rajya Sabha MP in his place. And bribery, I would say that he has allured Sanjeev Arora that if you win the seat of MLA Ludhiana West, I will make you a minister in the Punjab cabinet. Otherwise, why would a Rajya Sabha member leave a Rajya Sabha seat to become an MLA? I mean, this is something much more important at the national level. And a person who has never been an active member of any party or has never worked at the grassroots level. So this is actually an attempt by Kejriwal to become a Rajya Sabha member himself, because he has been rejected by the Delhi voters. Now this man who's been rejected by Delhi on corruption charges, he's coming into Punjab through the back door. Punjab will never allow such a thing to happen. This man doesn't know a word of Punjabi. And I'll be surprised how will Bhagwant Mann tolerate him, because, you know, he's been chiding opposition leaders in Punjab that you people have all studied abroad or studied in public schools or convent schools. You don't know a word of Punjabi. I want to ask Bhagwant Mann, does Kejriwal know a word about Punjabi?
Yes.
So Punjab will definitely oppose this backdoor entry.
All right, that was Punjab MLA, Congress MLA Sukhpal Khera, who's telling us that the entire move is to basically make this move so Arora will be replaced with the party supremo on the party, Arvind Kejriwal, in the Rajya Sabha. That's what it is all about. We'll move ahead right now because there's one more big story we're tracking. Shifting focus to education reforms from 2026. Class 10 students will be able to take the CBSE board exam twice in an academic session or choose between the two editions, one in February, another in May. As per the draft norms, the first phase of the exams will be held from February 17 to March 6th, while the second phase will be conducted from May 5th to 20th. The Central Board of Secondary Education on Tuesday approved draft norms, which will now be put in the public domain, and the stakeholders can submit their feedback by March 9th, following which the policy will be finalized. And we have a guest joining us live right now with us, Saloni Khanna, educationist, entrepreneur and economist, joining us live. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Saloni Khanna. I just want to ask you that first, this is a proposal. Stakeholders have to submit their feedback by March 9th, but anyhow, it looks like that the board exams are very likely for the CBSE students twice a year. If you could take our viewers through what do you really think about this proposal?
So this proposal is a landmark shift in education reforms in India. You know, under new education policy, flexibility is one of the most important criteria. And also when we talk about new education policy, we want to match it up to global curriculum. So you see, if we talk about SAT, if we talk about IB, which is International Board, all these people give you multiple shots at taking exams, you know. But when it comes to CBSE, we only had one shot system. So I see this move as a double opportunity for students to be able to prove themselves. However, we must understand that challenges regarding implementation stay put because CBSE is working with more than 25,000 schools and more than 35 lakh students. So how we will solve the infrastructural problems, then the burden of exam, if it's twice the year, parents will also have to look into it. Teachers will also have to manage the infrastructure. But the biggest challenge that I see is that there's no clarity as to best of both the exams will be considered or an average of both the exams will be taken. So if such clarity would be there, it will be helpful for students, teachers and parents. But I see this move as a revolutionary move because we are introducing interdisciplinary study, we are introducing flexibility, plus we are also trying to reduce stress of students. You see, if they have only one shot at the exam, the stress is immense and they associate life and death to the exam. But if we give them 2 shots, maybe it would ease out the pressure and the stress would be reduced. So that's how I look at this move.
Also, you know, Saloni Khanna, if I can ask you one more question, because the guidelines have been set. So there's a guidelines for examination centers, sports students we can appear in one of the 2 exams, not have separate exams. And so there seems to be, and if you could talk a little bit more on this, a little bit more flexibility for the students, given the fact that some of the students would need flexibility because there is a facility for children with special needs as well. So these are some of the changes in the proposal.
Yeah, all these are very progressive steps. But when I talk about flexibility, I talk about the flexibility to be able to choose which disciplines you want to study in, or to be able to choose whether you want to take a certain set of subjects or you want to opt for another set of subjects. However, you see, all these things are very good on paper. But the real challenge remains when it comes to implementation. Due to scarcity of infrastructure and resources, we are already struggling with teacher-student ratio. How will we be able to implement all these things? Conducting board exam is a huge paraphernalia. So doing it twice a year, then with all these nitty-gritties woven in, how long will it take to be able to adapt to these new systems? Also, how universities will perceive the system. Some of the students go out to study after 10th standard. So how will we be able to find those linkages? I think all those questions still remain unanswered. But the intent of this move seems to be very progressive because, as I told you, it is offering flexibility and interdisciplinary study. And also, you see, students in India, more than 85% students in India have exam stress, and it is one of the biggest reasons that students are going into depression. So giving them multiple opportunity and having this intent, if executed well, I see it as a very progressive step. All right.
Well, thank you for joining us. That was Saloni Khanna joining us here, educationist, entrepreneur, and economist on the new the changes to the CBSE board exams. We will track the story very, very closely. We have to move ahead right now to some of the other stories we're tracking. Today is the 5th day since 8 people have been trapped in the partially collapsed tunnel of the tunnel in Telangana, which has been collapsed, and it has been a mission to rescue those trapped workers. Continuous surge of silt and water into the tunnel at a very high speeds makes it extremely dangerous. Even for the rescuers, Republic continues to bring you every development from the ground. We try to connect to our colleague Aneri in a short while from now, but there are also some challenges which have been thrown up as the rescue mission continues. And I want to go across to my colleague Aneri, who is right close to the tunnel where the rescue operations are happening. Yes, Aneri, rescue teams are battling some complexities. They are battling a lot of slush, especially because it's a race against time, Aneri. If you could take our viewers through what is happening, what are the equipments being used, and how much time do you think it will take to rescue these workers?
Well, Shivangi, today is day 5th of the rescue operations which are underway at the Srisailam left bank canal, where we see that the 8 workers have been trapped since Saturday, and the rescue teams have been working here. Almost 11 teams have been working here for the rescue of these 8 workers. But then the challenge is for the rescue teams is that there is continuous inflow of water and the silt there inside the tunnel, and that is one big challenge. And also at the same time, as this tunnel is one of the longest tunnels, like 44 kilometers long tunnel, and there is no exit in this tunnel in between. So that is also one big challenge for the rescue teams, that they have to reach till there, and also at the same time they are working on it, and they say that they are hopeful that they will be able to bring back these 8 workers.
All right, thank you for joining us with all those details. I will be coming back to an area because we're tracking the rescue operations very, very closely.
BSF has foiled a border breach attempt by a Pakistani intruder in the Tashpatan area of Pathankot as the BSF foiled the attempt of infiltration and neutralized the Pakistani intruder that was attempted to sneak in from the same area where the attackers of 2015 Dinanagar police station attack also came in. For more, stay tuned to Republic TV right after this short break.
The Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries. Category 1. Science, Technology and Space.
I'm excited to hear about the proposals that have been submitted at the Youth Hackathon at the Republic Plenary, and I can't wait to see them and discuss them and look forward to transforming India with these limitless possibilities.
The ICC Champions Trophy 2025 is being played in the hybrid model, with India scheduled to play all of their matches in Dubai. The first semi-final of the tournament will also be played in Dubai, and the Summit Clash too might be played there if India make it that far. The Board of Control for Cricket in India had been firmly against sending the Indian team to Pakistan for the Champions Trophy. BCCI had cited security issues as the main reason behind not sending the Indian team to Pakistan for the Champions Trophy. This is the first time that 2 venues have been decided for the final of an ICC event, and the blame for that lies with Pakistan. After all, the Pakistan Cricket Board never had any concrete answers to the security issues that their country has seen over the years. Pakistan did try their very best to convince the BCCI to send the Indian team to Pakistan, considering the financial gains that the men in blue bring in, but they never bothered to address the grave issues facing their country. The Indian cricket team, it's worth noting, has been dominant in the Champions Trophy so far. India have won both of their group stage clashes against Asian counterparts Bangladesh and Pakistan, and have thus qualified for the semi-finals of the Champions Trophy. But former England internationals Michael Atherton and Nasir Hussain have blamed the ICC for giving India an undeniable advantage. What about the advantage which India have in playing in Dubai, only in Dubai, which seems to me to be a hard to quantify advantage but an undeniable advantage? They're playing at just one venue. They don't have to travel even.
Coming up, viewers, we talk about what's happening all across the country. Bharat in 5 minutes. Maharashtra Cyber Cell summoned internet personality Apurva Mukhija amid outrage over the YouTube show India's Got Talent. Mukhija recorded her statement at the cell. So far, 6 people, including YouTubers Ranveer Labadia and Nashi Chanchlani, have recorded their statements. As the Grand Mahakumbh comes to an end, the concluding Amrit Snan began in the early hours of Feb 26 as devotees continue to flock to Prayagraj to immerse themselves with the Triveni Sangam. UPCM has been monitoring the situation very closely.
So nobody wants to miss out on this opportunity. Traditionally, the people of the city of Prayagraj, they are also visiting this Snan in huge numbers, and that is why since midnight we are seeing a huge inflow of pilgrims. But because of our schemes, there is a very convenient outflow also, and everyone is feeling glad to be part of this occasion of Mahashivratri. They are also visiting the Shiv Mandirs in the Mahakumbh area in large numbers, which we are facilitating very well.
This is Mahakumbh comes to an end. Preparations are underway for the Earth Kumbh Mela set to take place in 2027. Have already begun. A meeting of government officials took place to discuss the preparations.
27 में जो कुंभ मेले का जो आयोजन जो होगा यहाँ पे, उसकी तैयारी अभी से ही शुरू कर दिया है और सारे आज विभागों का आज एक प्रेजेंटेशन था जिसमें कि गृह विभाग का भी प्रेजेंटेशन था। इसमें भी प्रेजेंटेशन में ये कहा गया कि किस तरह से आगामी जो 27 में जो कुंभ जो होगा उसका क्या ट्रैफिक प्लान क्या होगा, किस तरीके से पार्किंग व्यवस्था होगी, किस तरह से क्राउड मैनेजमेंट का यहाँ पर डाइवर्जन करेंगे, क्या उनकी स्कीम्स होगी। तो इन्हीं सब बिंदुओं पे यहाँ पे प्रथम रूप में इसको कमिश्नर साहब की अध्यक्षता में इसका ब्रीफ लिया गया और इसमें आगे जैसे समन्वय से सारे डिपार्टमेंट काम करें तो इसकी फर्दर एक रूपरेखा इसमें तैयार की गई है।
Jammu Kashmir High Court has ordered NHAI to charge only 20% of toll fee till the completion of the Lakhanpur to Udhampur National Highway. Further directives ordered that another toll cannot be established within 60 kilometers of National Highway 60. What's coming up, viewers? We are live in breaking here. India lands at Supergate after Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, now BJP leader Jaideep Shergill, flags bad services of the airline.
The Supreme Court issued a notice in a special leave petition filed by Indian badminton player Lakshya Sen challenging the Karnataka High Court's order which rejected his plea to quash an investigation into the allegation of fabricating birth certificates to take part in underage badminton tournaments. This means that any investigation against him has been stayed by the Supreme Court for now. Earlier, the petition filed by him relating to an age fraud case had been dismissed by the Karnataka High Court. The case against which Sen had filed a petition dates back to 2022 and accuses the player, his family, and his coach Vimal Kumar of allegedly tampering with birth certificates to gain an unfair advantage in junior badminton competitions. The Karnataka High Court had examined the petition filed by Sen and his family and determined that the preliminary evidence was sufficient to justify a further investigation. When prima facie materials are placed on record which constitute the offences, I do not find any reason either to stall the investigation or to quash the initiation of criminal proceedings, said Justice M.G. Uma. The judge further added that sufficient materials exist to ensure that the case against Sen and his family and coach goes ahead. There are sufficient materials that are placed before the court by the complainant, which are the documents that are obtained under the Right to Information Act from the appropriate authority. Under such circumstances, I do not find any reason to entertain the petition, said Justice M.G. Uma. The investigation against Sen was launched following.
I'm delighted that the Republic TV is doing a program which is titled appropriately Limitless India, which includes Inclusive India. India has been limitless in thought because it never circumscribed its thoughts that this is the only way to go. We are limitless in our thought, in our reach, in our inclusiveness. And I am happy that such a great initiative is being undertaken. All my best wishes and blessings to the Republic TV and Arnab.